normally got a computer in front of us.
Welcome to day 2 of the Open Championship, the 152nd, in fact, from Royal Troon, the 10th staging of the event here, and it's a wee bit nippy. The wind has picked up, the sun is trying to break through the clouds. Spectators have been loving the golf here on the driving range, children waiting for autographs and balls. So many of the players have been responding and going over, which has been amazing to see. Of course, they're all role models to these youngsters. We'll be chatting a lot about the wind in the afternoon conditions and what's been happening this morning. We're on the western coast of bonny Scotland, and my goodness, how the weather changes every hour here.
It's a difficult test out here. 18 tees, 18 fairways, 18 greens. One mistake can make a two-shot difference.
The elements dictate a little bit more than the player dictates.
Start of the tournament and it's
tough. It's really tough. I think we're all suffering equally. Something about playing in Scotland that's been unbelievable from the start.
You got to really hit the ball solid. Your misses get punished. The 8th hole here, you're very happy to walk off with a 3. Tomorrow, try to make the cut.
Welcome to Live at the Range. Delighted to be joined for the first time. Stephen, you follow me. Stephen Gallagher, great to see you. You've played in 8 Open Championships. You're normally in the comms box. You're down here in the range. I'm sorry to bring you down here. You've forgotten your jacket. It's a wee bit windy, isn't it, down here?
Oh, this is lovely. It's summer, isn't it? It must be a balmy 15 anyway, which is good for me. I've got my sun cream on, so yes. I'm happy to be out.
He said, I've got my sun cream on. I can get burnt in this weather. And one of your mates actually got burnt yesterday on the course.
Yeah, Tony Wall was on course commentating, and he came in today and he says, I've been absolutely burnt silly.
Oh my goodness.
And it was raining. I said, that's what happens in summer here.
That is Scotland. But today, conditions, my goodness. Yesterday was so tough for the players. You've been here all week. Today, it's changeable. We saw those early scores, the likes of Marcel Siem making birdies out there. Shane Lowry's out there. He's just had a birdie. He's jumping up even further up the lead, right at the top of the leaderboard. What will the afternoon weather be doing?
Well, it's meant to get worse. Definitely there's a trend that late early, I think tomorrow was the draw you wanted.
Yes.
We've seen that already this morning. Like you said, Marcel Siem 5 under after 8 and Shane Lowry doing well. I think it's to get to 30 miles an hour, but it's the same direction. So the guys that played yesterday, albeit played in rain, it's just going to be windy without the rain. So they know how tough it is. They'll have been watching it this morning. It's what you do when you're off late in the Open. You sit and watch and you try and sort of get your game plan round about what other guys are doing, see how the putts break, see where not to hit it. So these guys they'll be well versed on what they're going to do.
There's Dan Brown. He's 1 over for his round, -5. What an incredible storyline. I
mean, I watched Dan play the last 8 holes last night, and he was just flawless. I mean, bogey-free 65, never been done before, broke a record. Even coming down the last, I mean, he played the last in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
He said on television, you can't really tell how.
Almost pitch black, and he got a bit lucky with his 3-wood, jumped to bunker, and then just hit an unbelievable 9-iron to 8 foot and rolled it in as if he was playing with his mates.
Yeah.
A medal back home, to lead the Open. It's great to see.
Really, it's always going to be difficult to back up such a great round of golf. He's through 5 holes. He's +1 further down the leaderboard. We can go. Matt Wallace, Chris Kirk, and Adam Scott. They haven't teed off yet.
Yeah, Matt Wallace has just came on the range. I mean, he
was in a very bright top as well.
Yeah, he was good yesterday. He led the stats. I think he led the approach stats. So he played very, very well yesterday. He had 1 bad hole, but he got it back. Again, someone who they've got high hopes for. I think he loves the wind. Suits his game a little bit, low ball flight.
There is Jordan Spieth, winner of the Open Championship in 2017, level par, chatting no doubt constantly on the golf course. Jason Day, the Aussie, at -1 through 15 holes. He'll be pleased to get in the clubhouse with that score.
Yeah, 3 to go, par 5 to play. He'll be hoping to at least stay on 1 under, stay in red figures. It's going to be pretty bunched again. I think, level par, 1 under, 1 over, 2 over. We're looking to cut at 5, almost. So, these guys are doing well.
The cut right now is 3 over par, but it's going to go further out, isn't it?
I think so. I think if the weather deteriorates how it's meant to be expected, I think it will go to 5 over.
Yeah. Rory McIlroy, 7 over par yesterday on day 1. What are your thoughts? He's arriving?
Yeah, he's arriving. He's probably got his gym gear on, going to the gym, do a bit of training, lift some weights. He'll be wanting to make amends of yesterday, and you know, he shoots 3 under today, gets back to 4 over, he's back in it.
Yeah, and which is what he's perfectly capable of doing. We've seen time and time and again.
Oh yeah, he's up there for me, one of the best players I've ever played with when he's on form. He's so good.
Yeah, how did he handle himself on that back 9? We saw that out of bounds on 11, and you know, it's just a real sting in the tail, isn't it, when you're coming home?
It's such a tough stretch. You know, you turn that bend at 9, 10 blind tee shot, 11 blind tee shot. It's just so hard to commit. Wind whistling off the left. As a right-hander, it's so tough.
And then 12 and 13.
Well, yeah, I don't envy the guys playing the back 9, to be honest. But, I mean, this is the easier wind, believe it or not. I think every time I've ever been to Troon, it's been the opposite way. The front 9's been down, the one that you can score on most, and then the back 9's into, which on Tuesday, the back 9 was absolutely brutal.
I know, really tough, isn't it? If you're practicing for the first 3 days and then the wind changes condition, everything changes for your tee-off time, and you've suddenly got the waterproofs on. As a professional, it's so hard to handle.
Well, yesterday we had everything. You had wind, rain, you know, it calmed down a little bit at night. But yeah, it's tough. It's cold for a lot of people. You know, it's an international field coming from all over the world. It's just tough. It's a really, really tough event, because even what time of the draw you're off at can make a huge difference.
Yeah. You played in 8 Open Championships. What was your best result?
I think it was 15th or 13th. Or
I love the fact
like
it's sort of, I think it was.
No,
so top
nothing
15.
Monumental.
Top 15, but still.
Yeah, top 15 was great. It was at Hoylake, I think, when Rory won. I was maybe 15th at St Andrews as well.
Yeah.
One time. Played with Phil Mickelson in the last round, which was lovely.
Oh, fantastic. We'll speak a lot more, Stephen. Great to have you with us. But for now, let's go out to George. He's with Martin Slumbers. George, over to you.
Hello, we're joined by Martin Slumbers, CEO of the R&A. Martin, your final Open Championship. It's been an amazing run. This was, I believe, your first Open Championship as well.
Was, yeah.
Can you run us through a few memories and how special this week is for you?
Yeah, I mean, it seems, you know, better part of a decade ago standing here for the first one. And I think my abiding memory back in 16 was however much you prepare and you're briefed, it is nothing to actually being a reality of being responsible for this amazing championship. And you know, it's given me some of the most amazing thrills for the better part of a decade. And you know, I'm looking forward to Sunday, but I'll miss it come next year.
Yeah, well, coming here in 16, what are the changes you've noticed about this year, and what excites you about the 152nd Open this year?
Yeah, when I took over, I sort of had a series of things I wanted to do, and you know, for me, firstly, the Open should be about a global brand, and you know, we've worked very hard on consistency of brand, focusing on brand, making it very much a global product. I was also very keen to see big time sport needing big time crowds. It was something I sort of felt very strongly about. We had 173,000 people here in 2016. We'll have north of 250,000 this week, and I think the atmosphere is different. It's louder, but more importantly, it's a lot of people coming who traditionally may have not gone to a golf tournament or not even played golf. And so we're bringing the sport, and that's the third thing, is using this as a platform to get more people to understand that this is a fantastic sport. It's good for your health, it's good for your body, it's good for the environment, it's good for society, and using this as that showcase of everything that I think is great about our sport.
As you look back over the years and the many great campaigns that you and the R&A have run, what are some of your fond memories and parts of that you'll be really proud of looking back?
I think the thing will be most proud of is the way that we have brought a very business-orientated approach to improving participation, and using that and working that across the globe with all our affiliates. You know, so some of the programs for getting people into sport, some of the technology that we brought to sport, some of the external people from golf, pro golf, who now support us as ambassadors, all of that has been part of a very clearly thought through strategy, and it's working. I mean, there are now outside the United States of America, which is our remit, 62.3 million people who consume golf. That's 10 million higher than in 2016. And I think that's fantastic, and I only see that growing.
And I guess from here or next year, you'll be watching from the outside. As you, I guess, grow older, what are you going to look back to, and what are you going to, I guess, hope to see from the R&A? Because I know we want this great game thriving in 50 years' time as well.
Yeah, grow older. Thank you very much, George.
You don't look it, though.
You know, I think, you know, there's two things in sort of life that I believe in. One is you stand on the shoulders of those who came before you, and you want to leave something better than when you took it on. And I feel that we've done that with my decade, benefited from all the work of my predecessors. And I think the game is better than it was when we started. And yeah, I just hope that the R&A continues down the path of having this global responsibility and feeling that global responsibility to grow the game at the grassroots level, to invest in pathways for the best men and women to get to the top if they're good enough and if they're willing to work hard enough. And then with this championship and the AIG Women's Open, to showcase the best championship in the world. And you know, that's a very emotive phrase, but our ambition is to put on one of the world's greatest sporting events. And I hope, I know Mark will continue on that path, and I think it's very exciting.
Well, you mentioned one of sport's greatest events. Let's talk about the right here, right now. How good is this week going? How's the course set up? And what are you looking forward to most in this great championship?
Well, I really like this golf course, and actually most players. I mean, it's an interesting golf course in the sense of you take the Postage stamp out, which I think most people think is the best golf, one of the best 5 par 3s in the world, let's say. The rest of the holes, there's nothing that goes, wow, that is absolutely outstanding. But when you put the whole picture together, it's a golf course that is just really good for championship golf. We lengthened it a little bit after 16. We did it a couple of years ago. The bunkers are a little bit deeper. But these guys are really good. And if you don't give them a platform that's really challenging, you can't differentiate them. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing good play being differentiated. Yesterday was a pretty tough day, but not that tough. Today the wind is going to get up and keep getting up. It's going to get windier as the day goes on, so but from the same direction. Tomorrow all the forecast is going to be wet, so we'd have had all 3 parts of the weather here, and on Sunday I'm told the sun's going to shine. So
well, that would be a lovely way to finish. And finally, you'll be reading Champion Golfer of the Year for the final time. Who would you like to read off that bit of paper, or who do you predict you might read? Any suggestions there?
I think you know, that is the amazing sense of responsibility that, you know, and I think that's one of the sort of mysteries that's so wonderful about the Open Championship, is that, you know, the Champion Golfer of the Year phrase has been used 151 times. Yeah, it's on my mind for a few months leading up to it. Who would I like to win? I'm not going to say. We've had some great champions in my time, and I'm sure we'll have another really good champion come Sunday.
Martin, thank you very much for your time today, and obviously over the last many years as well, and all you've done for the game.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you, George.
And what a brilliant job Martin Slumbers has done for the R&A. Steps down at the end of the year. Thank you, Martin. OK, we are on the range and in the commentary box for this afternoon session. It is good afternoon to Simon Holmes and Pete Finch. How are you, chaps?
Oh, we're good. We're fed and watered. We have to say that the cafeteria has got less sticky toffee pudding and custard in it than it had before we hit it.
Yeah, it's a dangerous day to be a dessert with us around today.
Oh my goodness, dangerous day for dessert in general, is that? Oh, great. I'm so delighted that you've had some sugar. What's your favourite dessert, Simon?
Oh, I start with dessert and work my way back to the salad, but I hardly ever get there. So I just basically stuck at the sticky toffee pudding. A brownie
sticky
and custard is good.
Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, good stuff. What about you, Pete?
Oh, I'm all in on sticky toffee. Like, that is my
favourite.
number
Oh,
one
I'm so glad. I'm so
death
glad.
row dessert.
Do you know what, chaps? We've had lots of people messaging us, #TheOpenRange, joining in the conversation of what's going down here at the range, on the putting green, at the short game area, all around the course. And yet we're receiving a lot. I'm reading them all and we'll read some out later. But for now, we will cross over to you and I'm going to try and find some sticky toffee pudding, actually. Okay?
Yeah, great to see Martin Slumbers as well. He must be so proud of the journey that the R&A have taken, at the Open Championship and all of the associated championships have taken. This is an amazing event. So, Peter, the flags stiffening. The test is going to be fairly brutal out there this afternoon, we think.
Yeah, the big advantage, I suppose, over yesterday is there's not going to be any rain, and it is a little bit warmer. However, the wind compared to this morning is almost double the strength. So those really good scores that we've been seeing coming in, well, really good scores in comparison to yesterday, I'm not sure they're going to be carrying on. Again, it's going to be a bit of a battle this afternoon.
So a man who fought well yesterday in a very exciting T-shirt combo is Matt Wallace. He is still, after his round, which was 1 under, in 11th place. So par, as we would expect, is a really good score. That's what we expected.
Yeah, Matt actually played, I think, a lot better than his score suggested yesterday. He had one rogue shot, which led to a treble bogey. Apart from that, he was playing fantastic. So if he can carry on that general form from yesterday, well, he should be well within top 10 at the end of play. But I mean, I'm kind of looking at the scores coming in, and they're progressively slipping. I think he's going to be good. I think the people going out this afternoon are going to have some fun.
Yeah, it is very much a part of the unpredictable nature of the draw. And we're kind of thinking late early was the magic position.
Oh, absolutely.
Justin Thomas will soon be going out there. He had a fantastic score yesterday in pretty difficult conditions. This is the 152nd Open. Join us at the 153rd, and you need to get your skates on because demand for ticket is absolutely rampant. Sort of really got to scan that code, get yourself in the ballot. 270,000 people will attend this particular championship. Add that to Royal Portrush. Irish Magic, can't wait to be there. Portrush is a test.
Oh, Portrush is an incredible golf course. I mean, I think for me, my two favourite open courses are in a row. We've got Troon, and then we've got Portrush.
So, two really rogue ambassadors here, Henman and O'Driscoll, creating chaos wherever they go, and they were joined by Josh Antman.
Not just golfers here at Royal Troon this week. I have got two greats, and they are greats, from rugby union and tennis. Brian O'Driscoll, Tim Henman. Welcome along to Royal Troon. Outside of your sports, how big for you is the Open Championship?
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, I mean, I'm a golf addict.
You are,
and no, I enjoy playing, but I watch it all. So, you know, the majors, they're the pinnacle of the sport. I think they're the cornerstones of golf. So we've been lucky enough to be at probably the last 10 or 11 Opens with HSBC. So, yeah, it's great to be here. Such an amazing course with the best players in the world.
Yeah, particularly now because, you know, because of the split. So it's only a few times in the year do you get to see the best players playing against one another. Yeah. So it's, yeah, it never disappoints, the Open. And the course I was lucky enough to play Troon about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and that rough is thick, and I know a bit about that.
I tell you, we're going to go straight into our postage stamp challenge. I know you're both looking forward to this, or as Tim called it, the 3-shank challenge. They've already had a few goes, a few practice goes. So you're allowed a wedge. You've got 3 shots at our postage stamp over there. One club. Any wedge, anything between a 6 and a 9-iron, and then anything between a driver and a 5-iron. Current handicap, Tim? Now,
+1.
Right then. What are you doing here? You should be on the range, Brian.
7.
Okay, this is serious then. Okay, Brian, what are you going to go for wedge-wise? What are you going to go for here?
Just pitch and wedge.
Just pitching wedge, which is there. Okay, Tim, what are you going to go for?
I'll hit the same, probably.
Excellent, that's a great choice. It means I don't have to keep holding these clubs. I'm going to be a great caddy here. Right, between 6 and 9, Brian.
9.
Okay, like it. Like it, Tim?
I'll go 6.
Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, between driver and 5-iron. What
5-iron.
That was a very quick decision. Tim?
I could do minimal damage with 5-iron.
The chipping green is over there.
I'll hit 3-wood.
Oh, okay. I don't think anyone's chosen 3-wood yet. Is it under this one? No, that's hybrid. I keep going here. I think it must be this.
Well, I'll go with that one. Oh.
Should we go with that one?
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah, let's try that. Okay, I'll be caddy. So who's going to go first?
Go on, Bod.
Sure.
Lead the way.
Okay, you go wedge. Okay, we're going wedge first.
Okay.
Okay. How many practice goes you already had here?
1.
What?
Yeah. 1.
More than 1. Okay. How are you playing this, Brian?
Like it needs a good, like 90% wedge. So
okay, 90% wedge.
It's got to come in off the right.
Physique, his short game is
feet back in the stance a little. It's always the pulley. That's the danger.
That is the danger. We've got wind off the right today. You know what? Distance perfect. Tim, do you want to come in? I'm going to go 1 and 1. So it's 0-0.
Okay.
Now, Tim, we're expecting big things. On +1.
Let's relax into it, baby.
Okay.
Come on.
Here it is.
Smooth.
You might be the best, I reckon, golfer in sport, possibly. Let's go with that.
Oh, Stinny, that was so thin. That was so thin. It's about 60 yards short as well.
That just hurt.
Okay, it's 0-0. 9-iron then.
Captain watching.
Brian, you're in with a 9-iron. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Right. Depending, we might let you have a mulligan each.
Yeah, that was the warm-up.
Maybe that was.
Cold.
Maybe we should have been there, Tim.
Cold
Okay.
Standing
Playing
around.
this any differently, Brian?
No, just hopefully not pull it 20 yards right or left.
Oh, stop turning.
Come on.
Stop turning.
Better.
He's chuffed with that.
That was 99 yards.
I'm going 6-iron.
You're going 6-iron here, Tim. Okay. Tell us how you're playing this, Tim.
Okay, this is sort of back in the stance and don't try and hit it too hard.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What are you doing to us, guys?
+1, is it?
This is.
Let me ask, you two have played in obviously so many big sporting events, semi-finals. You've played,
Not this much pressure.
I was going to say, do you guys still feel pressure in things like this?
Oh, this is much worse. Like, you're totally out of your comfort zone. You know what you're doing in the other thing, the other sport. This is.
You are arguably one of the greatest rugby players of all time, and you're feeling more pressure here.
This is a horror show. It's a horror show.
5-iron now.
Just folding like cheap suits.
Okay.
Any different are you playing this, Brian? Or still the same?
No, I have actually. Do you know, if I have too many swing thoughts, it's
exactly
danger.
Just the 28 swing thoughts then. Oh, stop! Please stop turning.
That was decent.
That's so good. Do you want to have another go? Because you're close on there. That went 120. So that's just slightly right, Brian.
Okay.
You've got it. You got Tim.
Wind.
Tim's not hitting it with this. Oh, stop!
It's a bit big.
That's so close,
Brian. That was
Brian.
good recovery, though.
Right, the door's open. The door is so wide open for you. Come on. That's quite. That's what about. I reckon that's about 19 degrees on that.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. We're allowed to. Oh, do you want one more go? Because Brian had a mulligan. So you can have as many bounces.
I'm enjoying this. I've never seen.
Late night last night.
You play so poorly.
Okay.
Okay, this is it.
Oh no. Oh, it's okay.
That's okay. The relief from your voice for anything. Well,
it wasn't cutting enough.
Chaps, unlucky with the 3-shank challenge, as you said.
Well, it was pretty
great.
Great
To meet you. Enjoy the rest of today.
We will do.
Fingers crossed the weather holds, and thanks for coming in the Open, so guys.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Bloody well, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh my goodness.
We are live at the range Friday, just around 1 o'clock. Peter Finch in with me for the next few hours. And conditions definitely, it looks to us, worsening.
If you're a player, worsening. If you're a spectator, this is just spectacular stuff. Just imagine that ball in the air, oohs and ahs as it's flying towards the course. But you've got a bit of PTSD here from past experiences in this West Coast of Scotland weather, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it is. It looks. The thing is the gustiness, right? I mean, look at the trees; they're starting to pump now. The flags have had some motion, but we haven't seen the big tops of those trees moving as abruptly as this. Now, a man who has conquered St Andrews and become champion golfer of the year, Zach Johnson. You would think, in a sense, someone like him, like a Brian Harman, is going to do well. Hits the ball flat, doesn't overpower it, and is a great wedge player.
Yeah, it's a huge benefit. I think it's a very good thing to see within an Open Championship that it's not just the big power hitters that can come through and win. There's a lot of things that go into it, obviously, but you know, if you do hit it straight, if you are an old school type of player, you still have a chance. And I know that type of golfer is becoming less and less prominent because, you know, the game is getting more powerful. It is all about ball speed. But there is still a chance for these guys to come through at an Open. And Zach, when he won at St Andrews, he was one of those guys who came from the pack.
He's had an unbelievable career, hasn't he? I mean, he's Masters champion on a very soggy Augusta. It was a bad week of weather. He was 13 under par for the par fives.
And that was purely wedges. So
just all wedge
he laid up on every single par five.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And that was his game plan. He knew what he was doing and it worked.
Yeah, very strategic golfer. And when he gets into the fight, his game rises. So just have a closer look here. So pitching away, just using our top tracer technology, brought to you by our sponsor Rolex. Amazing what they have done to the game of golf. We thank them. So just working off a pretty strong grip. You can see Peter take us through the movement there.
Yeah, he's had the same technique really all throughout his career. So it is a strong grip. It's a little bit of a kind of flat swing, more around the body. And he just turns onto it. Usually hits that little draw that we can see there. Not a big hitter, but it's all about control. And he probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves for his career because it's certainly not an aesthetic swing when you pop him next to some of the other players, but it's effective.
Yeah, and you start to pop down his results. I mean, there's a very few players who would say, you know what, Masters champ, and you win the Open at St Andrews. I mean, very, very few people can top that.
No, I mean, winning the Open at St Andrews, winning any Open is obviously incredibly special, but yeah, St Andrews definitely has a little star by it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like a US Open at Pebble Beach, the Open at St Andrews.
Tell me where this ball starts relative to where it finishes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Just asking where that ball is starting. When the wind is so harsh like this across, it can lure you into a little bit of a false sense of where you're hitting it, especially someone like Zach who does draw it and it's a right to left wind. He's going to be thinking, oh God, how much am I actually moving this golf ball right now?
So you are seeing with our top tracer technology what he is doing. Where is the ball starting? Am I on my start line?
Wow, look, the wind is actually shifting the divots across the range now. Wow. And this is what you were talking about, Simon, with the gusts. So if you've played in links with before, you'll probably know this, but let's say you've got a steady 10-mile-an-hour wind and a 20-mile-an-hour gust comes in. If that's at the wrong time, that's the difference between hitting the middle of a green and going in one of the bunkers.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. You've just got to roll with it. Sometimes you're going to get lucky, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, it went 140 yards carry with 80 feet of right to left curve. 80 feet. Probably 5 or 10 feet of that was Zach and 70 feet of that was the wind. So can he hold one up into the wind?
That's what he's trying. That's an illustrious list he's on there. Wow.
Shot makers, look at those. The last 10 champions: Harman, Smith, Morikawa, Lowry, Molinari, Spieth, Stenson, Johnson, McIlroy, Mickelson. Wow.
It's a good scratch team, that, isn't it?
Yes. Incredible, isn't it? So, okay, so this is a great little device. His coach is Mike Bender, who's like a really very, very experienced kind of scientific coach, kind of a Mac O'Grady derivative guy, but a great coach. And what that does, Zach wants to just place that into his left forearm when he gets to the top to make sure he loads that into the right place. His tendency will be that he will drop that shaft too shallow behind him, and he'll get sort of like the hula hoop, his swing plane aimed too far right. So just trying to load it onto the top. He's not even looking now. All he's trying to do is hit his start line. He's just forgetting the curve. So he's trying to neutralize out the effects of the wind.
Yeah, it's so hard when you practice into a consistent wind like this. As soon as you get out onto the golf course, you're going to just naturally start to aim further and further off to the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you switch into a slight crosswind from the other direction, it can really start to mess with your mind.
This would be a nightmare for Alex Noren. Thank goodness he's not on the range at the moment. He would not be able to cope with seeing those balls fall to the left. So,
yeah, very consistent though. Just switching up, probably that was his 8-iron, I would have thought. Switching up through his mid-irons now. Training aid is off. I've not seen one of those wrist sets for years.
yeah, you know what? I think it was Wade Ormsby's dad who first brought that out. I have a few of those. I think they're really useful as like, not probably with a golf ball, not hitting golf ball, but if you're doing dry run practice, you know, which a lot of us did during COVID, using that. My two sons, Max and Alfie, have both used that just to sort of train, trying to get a feel for where the club should go, trying to build structure into their swings. So it's a really good thing for sort of younger kids, just to figure out where the club should go. You need to work it, you need to work with your coach, because there's lots of different options. There's not one slot that suits all.
No. And that's the thing with training aids. It's always worth getting a training aid after a lesson. Like, never get one in replacement of a lesson, because you could just be working on precisely the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, that's right. There's tons and tons of medicine out there, but what you need is the diagnostic toolkit, which is going to be working with in tandem, in coordination with an experienced coach, who's going to say, okay, this is the model you're going to follow. So follow this model. Here are 2 or 3 drills that are going to really help you become better at these 2 or 3 key fundamentals that are kind of like the foundations of your particular swing. Wow, it is forged by nature, and nature has just woken up a little bit more this afternoon. 30-mile-an-hour gusts we are anticipating. Our forecast team here on site, really trying to take one of the most unpredictable coastlines on the planet and make sense of it. So when you read the forecast, it might be windy, but it might be more windy later, but then again it might not be, and it might rain, or we don't really know, but it could be tomorrow.
And never forget to put your sun cream on, because you never know, sun might come out.
And then yeah,
I mean, that's pretty rare, admittedly, but
look at Zach Johnson working that across, just shaping his shots. I think as Zach Johnson's going to go, you know what, this is good for me. The more difficult it is, this is good for me.
Absolutely, it's always a chance. I mean, all you need to know is he's won an Open Championship, so you know that he enjoys links golf.
Yeah.
I think one of the difficulties as well on a day like this, we've got the shots he's working on into wind, across the wind. It's also around the green, on the putting green, where this really becomes an issue, especially when some of the greens are a little bit more exposed. You do have to allow for wind and extra break.
Yeah, so you've got to read the grain, you've got to read the speed, and you've got to read the wind. Good luck with that. So it is 1:05. Zach Johnson is in game 37. He's teeing off at 1:26, and he has Austin Eckroat, who shot 2 over, and Torbjorn Olafsson, who shot 1 under. So Zach at 5 over, thinking a 70 makes the cut. Is that what you're calculating, Peter? Like a 4? We're thinking a 4 over par for the cut.
Yeah, I've crunched the numbers and I've stuck my head out the window, and it does look like it will go to 4. I think it's currently at 3, but there's no way that doesn't move up this afternoon, especially with some of the leaders heading out. Yeah, it's currently at 4, so potentially, you never know, it might even go to 5.
Yeah, so currently got 87 guys.
And that's good news for some of the big names as well, who, you know, didn't quite get off to the start they wanted to yesterday. You know, there is a chance that they can scrape through to the weekend and then hopefully get a good patch of weather tomorrow morning.
So let's have a look. Zach Johnson. Really kind of his whole swing influenced by how he holds the club. Just really strong grip, holding it kind of shut in his hands there.
Yeah, so strong grip around the body, turn onto it from the inside, flip a draw away. It's quite an individual action, really.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't look like anyone else's swing, does it?
No. He's a fantastic grinder as well. Like you mentioned, it's just the grit that he has.
Like a Brian Harman in a sense.
Absolutely. He used to play a fantastic game when he was at the peak of his powers, the worst ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like hits 2 balls for every tee, picks the worst one, hits 2 shots from there, picks the worst one. And if he can shoot under par around 9 holes, he knew he was in good form.
It's tough to do. So there it is. That is the driving range, and you can see the wind pumping those massive trees back behind that marks where the road is. It's going to be pretty difficult, and the course has got some teeth. Have a closer look, Peter, perhaps at the first hole, a gentle opener.
Yeah, I mean, for most of these players, the first is actually it's a welcome hole. I mean, it's just a long iron off the tee, trying to keep it short of those first bunkers on the left-hand side. Now, there's actually been a lot of players using the wind a little bit too much and ending up on that path to the left-hand side as it kind of blows off the sea. Now, pretty much everyone is going to be laying short of those bunkers. If you do get a little bit frisky, you do fancy hitting something longer down there, you've got all those pot bunkers to compete with. And even though they're quite close to the green, you might not even get there.
6th hole.
Yeah,
longest hole, Peter, in open golf.
Yeah, this was a hole which, adding distance to, we actually thought when we had a walk around earlier in the week that it wouldn't be too bad because it'd be playing downwind. Now, the first couple of days, it's been playing into wind, and players have been struggling to reach the fairway. Then it's just a layup. It's quite a long, straight approach to this green, but it all raises slightly up. So, in this big space just before those 2 bunkers, that's where the players are going to want to be laying up to. If they do have a chance of going for it, maybe not today, but in the next few days, there's that big slope off to the left that collects into the rough, and those 2 deep pot bunkers there.
So from the longest hole to the shortest hole, the signature, the par 3 8th, the postage stamp.
I mean, on the face of it, simple hole, 123 yards, take your wedge, knock it on, hole your putt. In reality, anything but. Usually playing into the wind, but it's kind of swirling around and pumping all over today, and the chance of finishing one of those greenside bunkers is high. They're some of the deepest and most dangerous on the course.
Yeah. The start of the return to the clubhouse, not pleasant.
The 11th, honestly, I think this might be the hardest hole in championship golf. Our current leader, Shane Lowry, has just taken a double bogey on here. And that just shows that anything can happen. It hits into the right rough and then hits it into the gorse on the left. Because there's danger everywhere. You can't see the fairway off the tee. You have to trust your line. And with the wind hammering down off the left, you can end up in that right rough, and that can snag the heel and it can flip over. You can hit it too far right, it can be on the railway, hitting the 742 from Glasgow. And even when you get around this green, it's not easy. That bunker is very, very deep. There is a chance to run it up from the front, but it's a slightly false raise there, so it can wander off as well.
Yeah, and the close is tough. 17, the last of the par threes.
So this has been playing downwind the last couple of days, and even though it's 240 yards, these guys have been hitting 6 and 7 irons in, but it's actually been tough to hold because it's been so much downwind. It's been running off through the back. That front bunker there, not really in play. The front left is there for a poor strike. There's not many players going to be missing left. That big bunker off to the right, you could get lost in that. It is so deep.
And what will be the 72nd hole?
The big thing here, you've just got to miss those bunkers off to the left-hand side. Laid up short of the bunker on the right, which is about 312 yards from the very backs. I've got a feeling that rough to the right-hand side by close of play on Sunday is going to be pretty well worn. Those two bunkers just short of the green shouldn't really come into play. They're only there if you do hit a poor tee shot and you're trying to run it up. If you leave it in there, it's going to be a very difficult bunker shot. But it's just a beautifully framed hole with the grandstands and with one of my favourite clubhouses in all of golf as well, sat behind it. It's just a fantastic finish, and it has that open vibe which not many tournaments have. You know, there's not many tournaments in the world that finish with an established clubhouse behind. You can just see the members in there on the glass of wine, and you just can't wait to get in there with the claret jug and celebrate with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to go on. There is Tony Finau just rehearsing these bunkers. Look at that. What are the keys here, Peter?
Yeah, so with a pot bunker, the lip is so high. It's generally higher than most of the bunkers that these guys play all year. So it's just getting those knees nice and low, dropping those hands down, exposing as much loft to the ball as possible and sliding it under. It's not a bunker shot that you can get too steep on. You know, you need to be strong, you need to be powerful through the sand and expose as much loft as possible.
In the technique that we see, you know, a lot of times on PGA Tour, you kind of see like these long follow-throughs. When the guys get into the bunkers on the link sand here, sort of more that the club almost dies in the sand a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players you see with Tony's right hand here, he's firing the right hand underneath as much as possible. So there's no kind of holding of the angle. And it is just all about lift. It's just trying to get it up and over that lip. And we've seen already quite a few times during the opening 2 days.
And practicing into the wind in a fairway bunker, is that recognised to be a good idea? Is that practice downwind?
I mean, a bit of everything, really, isn't it? I think if you're practicing into wind, it gives you a nice, comfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Building his confidence,
and a
maybe.
mouthful of sand. No, it is. It's amazing. I mean, Tony is heading out. He had a good day yesterday. Really nice, tidy score, level par. He is currently in 17th place with that. He's going to head out at 2:26, so still, you know, an hour and 10 minutes away, just kind of cruising through, do some short game, try to get used to that. He's out with Henley, who was 2 under par, and Matthew Pavon, the amazing Frenchman, at 1 over. So a group that really fared very well yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they must have been bouncing off each other nicely. I mean, that's maybe the lowest scoring group altogether, potentially, there.
Okay, so spectacular scenes. The train is pumping past. Somewhere around is George Harper Jr.
Well, the sun is starting to shine here at Royal Troon, and we've gone behind the scenes. Now, these walking scorecards that you see all around the course, they don't set themselves up. So we're here with the supervisor, James. Mate, there's a lot that goes into this, isn't there? And you've been doing it for a fairly long time.
Yes, it certainly is. Actually, George, I've been doing it since 2009. I graduated from a scoreboard carrier myself, and now I supervise the young people who walk around with these.
Very nice. So how do you prepare each day? And obviously, we have got a seriously good feature group right here, right now. How do you prepare? How does everyone get organised before the big dances you walk on for 18 holes?
Well, on Wednesday, so the day before the championship, we meet all the scoreboard carriers for a briefing. We give them an introduction in terms of the role and the responsibility, tell them like what we expect. A lot of them are really good golfers, so they know etiquette, not to stand on players' lines and those kind of things. But they do get pretty nervous because they're walking literally 20 yards behind, you know, the best players in the world. So We kind of tell them to stay calm, you know, check the score with the walking scorer, where to stand, and, you know, not to get in the player's way.
So you've been doing it since 2009. You must have some great memories. And whoa, here we go. That wind is meant to pick up this afternoon. We've heard that on the range, so be interesting to see how windy it gets. So since 2009, you must have some great memories, but also you would have ticked off almost, if not every single open venue.
Yeah, I have. I've ticked off every open venue. When it was in Portrush, that was kind of the last one for the collection for me, so that was really, really good, because I started at Turnberry in 2009, so I know that's not currently on the open rota. I don't think Muirfield is at the moment, so yeah, I've got the full set.
Very nice. Right, do you want to set me up here? How does this work? Get me out there, maybe change roles for the afternoon.
Okay, so each of the scorers have this bag, and they've got their red numbers for under par, black numbers for over par, and their evens. So there's some evens here, George, so if it was yesterday, all the players would start off on even.
I got straight A's in maths actually back at school, believe it or not.
So, yeah, you just put them in like this, a little bend.
Little bend, look at that technique,
right, and
you
then
beauty.
bend in.
Chuck them straight in. And this goes over, this goes over the shoulder.
Do you want to have a go at the last one?
You beauty. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous in front of the cameras. Here we go.
Little bend.
Little bend, little arc. Little baby draw on those cards. Fantastic.
It's obviously the same for both sides. So.
Beautiful. And like, if that could be quite heavy after 18 holes. Like, is there any apparatus? Oh, he's got it all. What do we got here?
So we've got this holster for you, George. So that'd go one side, and then this would go the other side. I don't know if you can fit it on.
Put the gun in the holster, they say. Look at this. Here we go. Now we're dancing. Beauty. And in here?
In there, yeah.
Oh, look at that. That is cruisy.
And then that way, so that both sides of the gallery can see you.
Okay. You've got to make sure, always envision, if you do the maths right, you could be pretty good, couldn't you? It's a pretty fun week, isn't it?
It's a brilliant weekend for these guys carrying the scoreboards. It's the best job at the Open. We tell them that, and it literally is. They come back and they're like beaming because, you know, they've seen all the shots. And then they sometimes get some great memorabilia like gloves, balls. Someone got a 2-iron off Paul Casey once.
Brilliant. Was it snapped in half, or was it okay in one piece?
Signed right down the middle as well, so it was really good.
Perfect. Well, I said I got straight A's at school, but in New Zealand, straight A's actually the second worst mark you can get. So I'm going to test that out on the fairways. Thanks for your time, James, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
Let's go.
A familiar bag just cruising in there. He's done very well. Good iron player. My friend Ben told me to say that. But a very good score, tidy.
Yeah, he's a very tidy player. It is the type of event that would suit him. I mean, he has come into a little bit more form again this year. He's won again, and he's having some nice finishes. Currently tied fourth at 2 under par after a 68 today.
And could be higher up. I mean, that's what's so nice, isn't it? You come in, he's had the perfect draw, right? Late early.
Yeah.
And that is part of the championship. And now just cruising through, hitting a few shots, just getting it back organised again. I think that's Todd Anderson behind him.
It must be so nice. I mean, personally, not for me, because I'm not this kind of guy, but, you know, just standing on that range, clipping some shots away and just feeling that wind getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
The players never think like that. They always go, oh, the poor guys who are out there now just fighting away, and here I am, I've done my business, I'm probably just going to watch a bit of TV later. So, Billy Horschel, kind of out of nowhere, but we do get that, rising to the challenge, smile on his face, loves being in the UK. Great ambassador for the game, Billy Horschel.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a little bit of an Anglophile now. He does absolutely love it. I mean, the whole West Ham thing, it's not for show either.
No.
He's so into it.
He got it off one of his. He got it off one of the European caddies, didn't it? Was that off Fuji? Off Fuji? Is that where it started?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he's in there with all the ex-players. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah. He's a gator. Look at him there, 4th, 68 in-house. Work done. Clipping a few away. Post-round practice, is that just sort of a rehearsal, just kind of get it out of your system, try to maybe get back your stock shot having been out there, Peter? What's the objective of that?
I think there's a few different reasons. I mean, first of all, there might be something on the course that he wasn't happy with, so maybe a couple of shots that went left, just trying to figure that out, for example. Or it might just be resetting, so getting your alignment, grip, posture. You know, we've already spoken about when the wind starts to blow, you can start to lean into impact a little bit more just to try and get on top of it. That can get you a little bit steep in the downswing. But it also is the case that, you know, it's only 20 past 1. He's had a full round of golf. He's got the rest of the day. Might just want to just spend a bit of time just having to work.
Yeah, it is interesting. So I also think because of the fact that the range is sort of into and right to left, people are more willing. If it was across your shoulder, left to right, I think people wouldn't be spending too much time here at all. So let's have a look. Billy Horschel, he is looking at the same thing that you are looking at. That is our massive monitor showing the top tracer technology. Pretty good set of numbers, Peter.
Yeah, so you can see that he's obviously got a 2-iron there by the looks of it, just a driving iron to help off the tee. You know, launch angle of 9 degrees, apex 75 feet. You know, he's just working on those low skidding driving irons. 226 flat carry as well. With that type of trajectory, that's going to be running out another, 25 yards at least there.
Curve of 6 feet, pretty neutral. So really penetrating the very, very strong right to left wind, pumping, gusting. Billy Horschel really just finding a feel. His practice swings are quite exaggerated, quite unusual.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of, when you are working on a change, getting a feeling of that exaggeration is often worth it. The chances are if you are trying to change a swing by an inch, you need to rehearse and practice that change of about a foot to even kind of make that difference, especially with these guys who've been making similar movements all their lives. If they do want to make an alteration, the change and the feeling required is usually so much more.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. So we are looking at Billy Horschel. He has been played really, really successfully. I mean, an amazing round. 68 lowest round of the day so far. Pins were quite difficult, but they did recognize the wind was coming. A couple of tees have been moved up. The 6th was moved up today to make the carry into the fairway a little bit more easy. So 1 under par on the back 9 for Billy Horschel, 34.
It's that nice full turn up to the top of the swing. That little rehearsal he's doing in the downswing as well. Billy does have a tendency from the top of the swing just to start spinning, so the hips move really fast. So he's just trying to get a little bit more pressure into that lead side, moving that lead hip a little bit further to the left and allowing the club to drop from the top of the swing before that rotation then starts to turn on, so the club just doesn't get as stuck behind him. These guys don't like the club to be feeling like he's behind them, and they flip the hands over. So that shot off to the left-hand side.
Up and out in front, and now pushing down. So it's a lateral shift before the rotation. Not sure if that was exactly what he wanted there, but
you can see
that's the lower shot.
You can see like the exaggeration versus what is actually happening. I mean, Alex Noren, who's had a great round yesterday out on the course at the moment, he's the absolute poster boy of an exaggerated practice swing. They all do it. They all do it. Tiger, he does it.
So, Billy Horschel, let's have a look at his hips. So he loads, hold there, right. So loads inside of his right foot. Now pushes down there. So he's trying to shift the pressure from the right to the sort of the left ball before he spins out. Maybe, unusual to see that kind of left leg fold there. That's an indication in the post that the rotation comes on too early and the vertical doesn't kind of stop that rotation. So just always working kind of those 3 forces, the lateral force, the rotational force and the vertical force, and that's the sequence.
It's interesting as well, as that kind of lead leg does straighten up, that can also exacerbate the turn of the hip, you know, it accelerates that left hip out of the way. So if that's maybe a byproduct of getting the feeling of just loading into that left side a little bit more in the downswing. But yeah, it is unusual because normally as a player comes through, that lead leg just snaps straight.
You can just see a little bit of softness there. Todd Anderson used to be at the Breakers, now at the most magnificent resort. If you get a chance to go to Sea Island, it is absolutely amazing place. Great coaches. Phil Kenyon, I think, is there as well. So if you get a chance, right on the coast, magnificent resort. Let's have a look. Let's just take Billy's next tee shot from the driving range and superimpose it onto the wicked 11th hole. All sorts of troubles going on out there. Billy conquered the back nine. Shot 34. That looks pretty good. Let's have a look.
I reckon he'd be able to sell that for a lot of money.
You could absolutely cash that in, couldn't you? Billy Horschel, 3-11 and dead straight, down 11. Take it all day long. Still leaves him 1-9-1 to the middle of the green. So
crazy, isn't it?
His work is done. Now, just tune in a little putting. Great to see him with a smile on his face. He's had some tough times. He's bounced back, but as we know, there are no straight lines in life or in golf. Let's go find George Harper Jr.
We've seen a lot of golfers this week, but now I've found a very special one. Adam Wabi, a disabled golfer. Mate, can you tell us a little bit about your great story? Your golf game's thriving and your career's growing.
Yeah, so I'm Adam Wabi, I'm 25 years old and I'm a disabled player. I have cerebral palsy. My legs basically don't really work as well as everyone else. But yeah, I'm just a young golfer that's trying to make it.
Nice. What are some of your dreams and aspirations? Because I can imagine you've got a lot of hurdles to get over to create these great memories.
Yeah, I mean, golf is already pretty tough, but with the disability, it's even harder. But yeah, the goal would be, first of all, to be #1 in the world. Quite tough in the disabled world ranking because we have a lot of good players. And then my pretty big goal for next year would be to be the first disabled player to pass the cut on the DP World Tour.
Wow, okay, I like it, I like it. And how proud are you to see where disabled golf is going and how much it's grown over the last few years?
I think it's amazing. You know, I started, I think, 2014, so 10 years ago now, and we were. It wasn't. It was good, but it wasn't as good as now. Now we're playing with the big guys and with the big dogs, so it's really nice.
What are some of the hardest parts about you and your golf swing? What do you have to manage? I know, like, I've watched you quite a few times now, like even getting to the balls quite hard and things like that.
Yeah, so basically the hardest part is the balance. I really try to focus on balance, but you know, once I get in my stance, I don't really feel anything anymore, and you know, I get in the zone, so it's all good.
Nice. And speaking about in the zone, there's a large amount of professional golfers behind us in the zone. What have you enjoyed most about being here at the 152nd Open?
I mean, like everyone else, watching Tiger Woods, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah, watching Tiger Woods and seeing all the guys, seeing Matt Wallace. I met him a couple of times. The guys are so nice, and it's nice to see. I mean, I do think it's the highest level, so it's amazing, inspirational.
Nice. Well, we hope they can inspire you to greater heights, and good luck with your golfing journey.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, big man.
Boom.
Yeah, fantastic. What a resilience. But that's what's amazing about the game, you know. It's your ball, your game. You just have that relationship, and then it's just a battle around the golf course, which today, Peter, it looks pretty difficult. There's some strong wind gusts there.
I mean, it's a good example of what's happening there. So the higher flags there, the Open logo on top of the grandstands, they're blowing pretty solidly. But you can see the manufacturers' flags in the background, how they're kind of dipping and gusting and blowing. That's the real difficulty. Like, if it's a really constant wind without any gusts, you know, the players can deal with it. But when you're not sure,
Yeah, so if you need to take a break and you're here, head to the shop. If you're not here, scan this QR code And there is an unbelievable array. That's the official merchandise. The Open, the best of them all. It's a global brand. Join the brand and join me and Peter Finch in getting a yellow umbrella. Here's where it sits. Shane Lowry just battling, gotten dropped back to 5. He's met with Daniel Brown. Billy Horschel, after his move, he is now 2 under par, 68 in the clubhouse.
Control. It's often out of your reach. Your opponent. A line call. Even the bounce of a ball. Every game is full of unexpected twists and turns. You have the lows, the injuries, being away from home, the pressure. And the incredible highs, the wins, exploring the world. Every day, a new opportunity. Life is rarely a straight line. We can help wherever it takes you.
It is just past 1:30. We are live at the range, and there are some stellar groups heading out in the next hour. Some amazing players. Joachim Niemann is soon coming out, and then it comes Finau, Pathon, Rahm, Fleetwood, MacIntyre, Aberg, DeChambeau, Kim, Hovland, Harmon, Thigala, McIlroy, Homer, and Hatton. What a group! So, for Joachim Niemann with a 5-iron. He has been in form. He's put in a lot of effort to come into this championship, playing on the Live Tour, but with big success, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most talented golfers in the world right now. He's a fantastic player. Quite an unusual, unique action as well. This is not something that I could take on. It's a big, wide turn and then the dip into impact as the hips kind of go low and then rotate upwards. And it's a powerful move. He gets so much distance from, quite a small frame.
Yeah, coached by Pete Cowan. Joachim Niemann. Charming guy from Chile. Let's have a look. Thinking that's probably a driving iron. Is it long enough? Yeah, I'd say that's a driving iron. The last one was a 5-iron. So just teeing up a few, simulating the shots that he thinks he will have to recreate when he gets on the course. You can see the flight, the launch, 6 degrees, 70 feet of apex.
Yeah, that'll get it done.
Just a rip, straight rip.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, 246 carry on such a low launching driving iron is fantastic.
It's pounded.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that as well.
Well, you're a power hitter, Pete. Pound for pound. So,
pound for pound, I've got him definitely. I'm not sure about the golf there.
Here we go. So quite an interesting kind of like and that's a 3-iron case. So we spotted that. So just to see the height changes that he has through the ball, quite probably still very folded right elbow when he comes into delivery. That stays folded a long time. So obviously something has to drop to get him down. Kind of that little bit of side bend there. Let's have a look. So when he does that, you can see he's trying to extend out that right arm. And when he goes to hit it, if we have a look from here, so watch his head on the backboard there, kind of level to the middle of the claret jut, and watch the height drop. A foot of drop?
Yeah, and it's something which, again, I certainly think maybe 10 years ago as a golf coach, would have been looking at that thinking, oh, that's probably not ideal. But it's the whole movement, when you put it together, it does make sense. And as you mentioned, that kind of bent trail arm at the point of impact, that's something that we're seeing more and more. We got Hovland, who's probably going to be coming onto the range quite soon. That's something that you see within his swing. Obviously, you got Dustin Johnson. He kind of is a real kind of trail elbow bender at impact, got a wacky knee, and then it's all, it's all part of that greater movement of moving in, getting low, those hips opening up, and then controlling that club face coming in.
Yeah, I like the way he's just moving the ball around. We had 70 feet of apex, we've now got 120. Just shifting some different shots here. Probably a 3-wood there. Maybe a little bit more lofted than a 3-wood.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I mean, all the decisions on clubs would have been made early in the week. I reckon if he's got a 3-iron in the bag, probably would be a 3-wood.
Yeah. So
this is going to be the important club today.
Yeah, on the crosswinds. I mean, on the crosswinds with bunkers that are water hazards and rough that's a jungle, there are a few strips of turf called fairway, but they are hard to find on the crosswinds when the fairways are fiery.
Yeah, with this wind, as it increases, it's just going to dry those fairways out even more. So, those tee shots that yesterday would have been approaching the bunkers and pulling up short, they'll run into them today.
Plenty of speed, 182 ball speed.
I think that is the one advantage that the afternoon starters do have over the morning starters. We saw on the range this morning with all the top tracer tech how the ball speeds for these guys were significantly lower, just simply because they weren't as warm, the ball wasn't taking off as fast. They do have that advantage. We're up to about 20 degrees now. I think we're 19 degrees, so it's quite a pleasant temperature. It's just the wind, the extra gust that they have to contend with as opposed to the morning starters.
Yeah, you can see just that right side drops down. Look at that, the bullet, 4 degrees of launch.
4 degrees of launch.
That's a cannon shot, isn't it?
So 180 ball speed and 256 carry, that's going to be about 30 odd yards of roll easily.
It's a strong beard in the background there. So watch the height.
So let's see if he goes for a launch or another low one. It's a beautifully consistent action as well. Like I said, he has been playing very, very well this year. I think he had high hopes coming into the majors. I think he was a lot of people's favourites to win the Masters. He spoke about it with a lot of confidence.
Fascinating to see. Some superstar golfers are soon going out on the first tee, game 38. So, always fascinating during our show here to give you all of the insights, including some amazing slow-mo swings. Have a look at these.
Yeah, so our current solo leader. I mean, at the top of the swing there, there's less than a million ways to swing the golf club that we know. That left wrist in a little bit more of a cupped position, club face a little bit more open. You'd say it's quite a cramped position at the top for Shane as well, but it's what happens from here. That's what really matters.
So have a look at this delivery as he comes down and the hands release. Look at the hands almost coming off the club as he works that toe through the ball. I think that's one of his advantages. He's playing off a more neutral club face, not such a strong club face, so probably got a lot of different movements here. So now Scotty Scheffler, world #1, very steep arm plane, moves to the left side early. You can see there, left arm definitely steeper than the shoulder plane, so quite a high grip position. And now as he moves into the side, a lateral shift, you're going to see the left leg, left sort of ankle roll over, the right toe come in behind him. And that sort of rising left side kind of helps him keep the club face open, that sort of an opening feeling. And now, a swing I think you will recognise, Peter Finch.
Yeah, I believe this young man's name is Tiger Woods. May go far in our game. It's quite interesting, isn't it? That top of the backswing there, left arm pretty much across the shoulder line, right elbow pointing down, forming that beautiful triangle. Pretty much picture perfect. You know, this is something that he's worked on throughout his entire career, and now he's really got to this point where it's hardly ever going to go wrong, is it? And that movement down. I think that left hip still clears out the way pretty well. You know,
I agree.
Considering what's been going on with this.
And posts, there's some pushing up through that left foot there. So Tiger, he looked as he was on. He had it on the range. He had it on the course. The lack of prep, perhaps, on top of the conditions, proving too much this time for the big cat. Nevertheless, we are now at 1:42. The afternoon wave is on its way. The superstars are arriving. We've seen Tony Finau soon at 2:37. Rahm, Fleetwood, MacIntyre. 2:48. Arberg, DeChambeau, Tom Kim. A minute to 3. Harman, Hovland, and Thigala. And at 3:10, hopes go out with Rory McIlroy at 7 over, Homer and Hatton. So nothing is left to chance here at all. The players, and we know they're the most important players, most important part of the package. Let's have a look at how the R&A and the Open Championship cares for them during their visit to the Open.
Hey guys, we've made our way off the golf course and we've snuck into the player services area. This is where the players come to relax, chill in between their rounds of golf. This place is high quality, the best possible setup for these guys at a major. Now the shop is a long way away and there's a lot of crowds down there, so they've got their own. This is brand spanking new this year, so a nice addition for the players to get all their merch for friends and family right on their front doorstep. But come with me, this is exciting and very exclusive. So we've got to be quiet, got to be careful through here. Now if you look to the right, we've got concierge options here. Concierge and more player services, so anytime these guys are on hand to help the players. And then I'd almost call this the little lounge area. This is where you relax, watch the golf, in and out between your practice sessions. You go to the range, physios, friends and family, they're all allowed down here. And then you come to a little mini food area, so this is where management, friends and family, they all hang out. Grab yourself a coffee, do what you need to do, and really enjoy the space and get out of the heat of the major championship outside and come here to chill. Now, there's a different pass for up here, but to come upstairs, you have to be very exclusive. So we're going to try and get up there this one time to show you how amazing this facility really is for the players. All right. Oh, it looks very nice. So here we go. This is where they all relax, have their lunches. Everything looks... Hey, mate, how are you? So,
oh, yeah.
Am I right here?
Yeah.
Just this once?
Yeah, just this one.
Okay, just this once. Look at this. This place is stunning. We've got a games area, so a lot of the players love to switch off when they're not golfing. It's long days at a major, so they've got to kill time, relax, and take their mind off things. We've got table tennis. We've got darts down there. You can see there's a lot of US v Europe games of darts happening down there on the scoreboards, which is great. And just every stone has been turned. It is elite in every way. We come through here, and so they're only allowed a few extra +1s, +2s, +3s up in this section, so it's really nice and calm so they can take their mind off. And then, well, arguably some of the favourite parts, the food court. They have got everything you need. There's so many different nations around the world playing here at the Open. So all sorts of cuisine to make sure players from all corners of the world are satisfied, and more importantly, nutritious as well. It's all about player performance and nutrition, so they've got it all for these guys. I'm not going to lie, the pizza station distracted me a little bit. But obviously these guys are some of the best athletes in the world, so they will be fueling their body with nothing but perfection. So these guys have got everything, all you need, on their doorstep. So guys, I get the feeling that there's more players turning up. We've picked a relatively quiet time, but before they do, we better skedaddle and get out of here. But enjoy. We've had a sneak peek of where the players hang out, and it truly is a great setup here at the 152nd Open at Troon. Good on you, Henrik.
Follow the 152nd Open in unrivaled detail on theopen.com and the Open app. Go behind the scenes with Live at the Range in partnership with HSBC from Monday to Friday of Open Week. Track every shot hit at the championship and get real-time statistics with ShotView, powered by NTT data. Get minute-by-minute coverage and expert analysis on the go with the Open Radio. Follow featured groups in partnership with Rolex throughout each day of the championship, and soak up all the action at the stunning fifth hole and the iconic Postage stamp with the Par 3 channel. All streams live on RNA TV and the Open app, with a host of other content across the Open's social channels. Get closer to the Open wherever you are.
(13:48), and we are coming into the hot part of this afternoon. Tom Kim, what a swing that is! What an explosion into the game. A little sequence drill there, Peter. Take us through that.
Yeah, so the alignment stick kind of through the belt buckles here. So this gives an indication of what his hips are doing throughout the swing. Now, players use this for different reasons. Could be potentially just trying to get an indication of how much his hips are turning, if he needs to restrict or let them go a little bit more. But it could also be when that stick is on the right hip, it gives the feeling that it allows the arms to come in front of the body a little bit more during the downswing.
Yeah, so you can often have a thing like in amateurs golf, the hips are not that dynamic and the hands probably too dynamic, and tour players are trying to have the reverse of that, but they can, when they make a mistake, overdo it. So you don't want to have your hips outrace your hands too much because you'll get stuck. So it's also sometimes used as an arm speed drill to get your arms down faster so that right forearm gets in front of that trail stick. So interesting to see that Tom Kim, would just do a little bit of sequencing work before he goes out. Does the wind, Peter, make the timing of your... Does the wind change the timing of your swing?
Yeah, I mean, wind changes everything. It really, really does. It affects the swing technically. It affects you mentally because of the changes that you're trying to kind of implement on the course when these conditions are, well, literally hitting you in the face with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. But it's all, if you think about the golf swing, all the training and all the practice that these guys do, it's very rare that they'll be practicing and training for these types of conditions. You know, very rarely play links, very rarely play in this amount of wind, and it's got a little bit warmer, but certainly this morning or in these temperatures. So all that practice that they've been doing to then take it into the furnace of an Open Championship and then let it continue and let it happen naturally is hard, because you are trying to steer it in these winds.
Yeah, so Tom Kim exploded onto our seams. at the Wyndham Trophy, made a triple, I think, or a quadruple on the first, and just a sort of turned round to his caddy and said, listen, I'm so sorry, I was so nervous. Don't worry. And he won, I think he won by 6. So Tom Kim,
still over 22 as well.
Yeah, he really showed us, I think, when we were in the President's Cup at Quail Hollow, his fight and his grit. And for me, I had seen another player, Rory McIlroy. Remember Rory McIlroy when he won at Quail Hollow in North Carolina? That putt and the victory that he had. For me, Kim reminded me of a younger Rory McIlroy at that same venue.
He's got an incredible amount of talent. He's also a very different player in many respects, isn't he? Because he doesn't hit it a long way. You know, he's on the shorter side of the very best players in the world. But again, it's the consistency, it's the accuracy. He's got a completed game already at such a young age.
Yeah, they just sort of arrive completed, don't they? Part of an initiative from the alliance between the US Tour, PGA Tour, and DP World to try to streamline, fast-track talent to the top of the game, to your screens. Tom Kim really a beneficiary of that initiative. And it's fascinating to see his rise. And he's in a good spot here, Peter.
A little bit of a pause drill there as well.
Beautiful afternoon.
And just trying to sequence up the arms and the body.
He's 5 over par. He was out with Ludwig Åberg Bryson yesterday, and they were 4 over, 5 over, and 5 over respectively. So Ludwig at 4. Yeah, fascinating to see the warm-up and the discipline in the warm-up and the sticks coming in, the sticks coming out, getting himself ready for the fight.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of players which did go out around the same time. Obviously, that group, you know, in itself, you know, Bryson, Tom, and Ludwig, you know, they would have been expecting a lot more from their first rounds, and now they're in that kind of place where are they going to make the cut? And there's a lot of big-name players like that who are in danger of not making the weekend.
Yeah, there certainly are. Victor Hovland, he's at 4 over. Sir Heath, he is at 6 over. Rory McIlroy, he's at 7. Homer, he's at 5 over. Tyrrell Hatton at 2 over. None of those players will be very impressed by the position they're in. Fleetwood shot 5 over. Rahm shot 2 over. MacIntyre 1 over. So it was a fairly, you know, flat set of scores from people with whom many fans would have had high hopes.
I mean, watching them on the course yesterday, it looked like there was a little bit of shock setting in. You know, they were obviously hoping for a much better start as well, but you know, those are the hands that you get dealt. These guys have to go out there and show just what amazing players they are, and they're going to need all of their skill this afternoon.
Yeah, they'll be thinking, they'll be looking at the cut, they'll be looking at some of the earlier players, looking at some of the scores. What's possible? What can we possibly do?
I mean, I think today for those guys, like, I think 2 under's a fantastic score. Like, that would obviously get them, make them into the weekend. Yeah, I think that'd be a really, really good score. 2 under par.
So the driving range is heated up as the lead players arrive for the afternoon, and down there is Di Stewart.
Well, thanks, Simon. We're chasing, aren't we, Stephen? We were chasing Bob MacIntyre as he walked past us.
Yeah, I mean, he's the hot property. He's the one that most fans are here to watch.
Yeah, they certainly
Scottish
are.
Open champion last week, you know. Loves the links golf, loves the Open.
Brilliant,
So it'll be great to see how he gets on today.
Amazing. And I know you're close mates with him. He's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah, great guy. Yeah, brilliant. Down to earth. You know, he wanted to win the Scottish Open so badly, and you see him by his sort of celebration. Listen to the fans. That's how much they love him here.
Oh, they certainly do. And yesterday, a round of 1 over par, still right in it. I mean, it's, you know, day 2 of the Open Championship. So much golf still to be played this afternoon. He's out at 2:37. He's cutting it a little bit fine, isn't he? 155. We've just seen him on the chipping area. Now he's come to. Is he a little bit late?
Well, maybe. It depends. Everybody's got a different way of working it. He's probably putted and he's done his chipping now as well. So he'll just be getting ready, get the TrackMan in, dialing in his wedges and thinking about the first tee shot, how he's going to hit it, maybe even thinking about what club he's going to hit at the Postage stamp. So he'll be going through his final preparation. I think he's ready anyway. I've been speaking to him the last couple of days. He's playing great. He played great yesterday, so he'll be looking forward to this.
What's he doing? Got the alignment stick out?
Yeah, he'll just be picking a target, setting up his TrackMan on that and just working on his numbers, dialing in his wedges for the first sort of 9 holes. Thinking maybe about the Postage stamp, you know, a hole in golf that can put fear up the best of us.
Yes.
And, you know, he'll be working, he'll know what number it is already and just trying to dial in that number.
Darren Clark came close to a hole-in-one yesterday on the Postage stamp. A couple did, in fact. It's one of those holes where your score can be very good or very bad.
Yeah, well, it's such a small target. It's only 10 yards wide, so anything on the putting surface is a chance.
Has his life changed since Sunday evening?
I think it has in the golf sense. It won't personally to him.
He's being pulled left, right and centre, though, in terms of demand from his time, media attention.
Yeah, unfortunately, it comes with the territory. You know, the more successful you get, that's why he's got a good base round about. I mean, Stoddart, his manager, will keep him grounded, and he's got a good support staff. You see Simon Shanks there.
Simon Shanks.
I know Simon Shanks, Bob doesn't, so that's how it works. You know, so
it's the best name in golf.
It's the worst name.
Well, should we go? If we come around, it is the worst name. I spoke to Simon yesterday actually, and he said when he was announced on the tee,
I think
it was on the tee Simon Shanks.
I know.
Which
well, at least you just need to not do it, not live up to your namesake. But yeah, he'll be going through, probably leave here in 20 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
He'll chip some soft shots. He's very good in the wind anyway.
What impressed you most about the Scottish Open win?
Just the way he finished under the pressure when he needed to.
Yeah.
You know, last year he didn't lose it. Rory won it with birdie finish, 2 incredible shots, and this year role reversal. You know, Bob won it with incredible 3-3-3 finish. So yeah, befitting for him. He was gutted last year, but it was great to get over the line this year.
Absolutely fantastic finish, wasn't it? Including that eagle, and the home crowds, they went absolutely crazy, and a lot of them are here, as you say. Back-to-back victories in an Open Championship. It's not been done for a while.
Yeah,
it's
I think
possible
Phil
though,
done
is it? +1. Phil Mickelson last did it.
I think he did, yeah. And it's the last 2 wins on tour as well has been with Scottish winners, with Ewan Ferguson winning in the BMW before Bob. So it'd be great to keep that trend going.
Listen, you have been fantastic. You've got a dash off. Where are you off to?
I'm off to do some, I think it's featured groups.
Featured groups.
Can't wait.
Stephen, thank you so much. Let's get to commentary and join Simon Holmes, and you can dash off. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Di.
Great stuff. Over to you, Simon.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Di. Great to see Stephen Gallagher there. Bob MacIntyre just taking down the magic potion. He certainly has got momentum behind him. The crowd will be out there with him, Peter Finch.
Yeah, huge support yesterday, and definitely feeling like he's on maybe a little bit of a roll from last week, pulling everyone along with him. It's a fantastic looking range now. We've got Bob, we've got Tommy, Tom obviously as well.
Yeah, we saw John Rahm. Guys heading out.
He does love that ball. Explain a little bit more about what that is, Simon.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different things. So it's really sort of an easy way of kind of getting your sequencing between your chest and your arms. The tendency is sometimes that the rotation outraces the dropping of the arms, and so you'll find a lot of guys use that. The lanyard is really just so that the ball doesn't, you don't have to keep picking it up. But I think the idea is just in between your forearms, just it's a very gentle pressure. Keep your forearms kind of together, and it helps you a lot with the arm structure. What you don't want to have is kind of maybe that trail arm gets sort of separate away from your lead arm and gets stuck behind you. So you can just see the top of his backswing just kind of keeps the pressure on it. And then it gives you a relationship between how fast you turn your chest and how fast you swing your arms down your chest. So multifunctional, I like it a lot.
Yeah, you see a lot of them out there as well. Very, very popular trade aid amongst all the tour pros. He's just hitting a wedge here just to get that feeling. Probably won't carry on too long.
Yeah, I think with wedges it's actually a really good idea. It's just and I mean, maybe it's a great warm-up drill for you guys at home as well, just to give you the right sense. Have a few goes with it, take it in, drop it out, See if you can learn the feeling. What you don't want to have is a drill that does the work for you. You need it to give you the feel. Then you've got to assimilate the feel. So you don't want the aid to do the work for you. That's not the good. That you won't learn from that. But this is a really useful tool. So it gives you a sense of just kind of keeping your forearms maybe at the same distance as they are, sort of keeping together that same distance between the two of them as they are an address. You can see where it loads. Strong leg action, MacIntyre.
Yeah, absolutely. He kind of pushes and pulls with his lower half really, really well. He's also seemed to have added a little bit of distance this year as well, which is good. I mean, that's something which, you know, all these guys out there, they can see the advantages that players have when they do start to hit it longer. You know, certainly with the driver, he's added a little bit. And his results have started to, you know, really shine through. You know, win on the PJ Tour, obviously Scottish Open last week.
Big wins. The Canadian Open's a big win. Huge. You know, sort of in the early 90s, you know, every single guy would go there trying to win the Canadian Open. It was one of the, is it the second or third oldest championship in the world? So it really is the one to win. And it was an emotional victory. He's had his dad on the bag. You could see what it meant to him. That's Simon Shanks just walking past, taking a quick look at the data. Anything you want to discuss? No, I'm good. Cool. Have a good day. Keep your head down. It's going to be tough out there. You should try the sticky toffee pudding when you come back in. It's amazing. That's a good stabilizer. Lower the center of gravity, Peter.
The sticky toffee pudding?
Yeah.
Well, I can assure you I've been trying that for about 3 years now, and it's not worked. Maybe I need to add more
maybe not
custard.
having enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can see that's a really good way of practicing it. So for the left-hander, this is a disaster wind, right? Absolutely horrendous. You can see he's not even looking really where the ball goes, just trying to find his start line.
Yeah, so what will happen here as well, like when the wind is hard off the right-hand side for a left-hander, to try and start that ball a little bit more on line, that club can start coming over the top a little bit more, start pulling it back into the wind. You know, this is why you should never practice too long in strong winds, because your swing will start to adapt to try and get that ball straight.
Different for the right-hander. This is the recognisable form, Jon Rahm. Flusher off at 237 for company. Fleetwood and MacIntyre. Jon Rahm 2 over par. So very interesting to see the wrist positions he gets into and just the arm speed down and through. And he is a unit, isn't he? Just looks like him. He could just throw him an American football, even no one's going to stop him.
He's one of those guys who, in person, like he's a very imposing figure. He's like roughly the shape of a fridge.
I like that. I can see that. Sort of just a rectangle from the shoulders down.
Yeah, so he's not like a classic V shape. He's not shaped like a pizza. He's more of what's, you know, the pizza stored in.
That makes total sense to me. Amazing how close he stands to it. He stands closer and closer to it. He didn't used to stand so close to it. Now he's really, really close to it. Hands almost hanging into his thighs. And then I guess just it's all about his wrist positions and his arm speed. Coached by Dave Phillips, that's the Titleist Performance Institute. So really, you can see the hands. I mean, is that touching the thigh there?
Yeah, the butt end of the grip literally almost touches his left leg there. He's actually hitting next to Tony Finau as well. He's very similar. Like his hands pretty much hang down in between his knees. When you move your lower body like John, though, like you create so much room coming through impact that it doesn't really make too much of a difference. He's also, yeah, like I said, a very tall guy, so those arms and hands, they hang down maybe a little bit lower than we would have them.
Yeah, fascinating. Jon Rahm in 31st position at 2 over par. Now, Tommy Fleetwood would have had huge support, huge home hopes to take Tommy Fleetwood to an Open Championship victory. At 5 over par, he needs a really, really strong round to make the cut.
Yeah, he was our pre-tournament pick. I thought we were going to carry on our form from Brian Harman last year, and you never know. But he just got blown away a little bit yesterday. It felt like he maybe didn't play that poorly, but just a few loose shots, a few too many bogeys. I mean, listen, he's still a fantastic player, so there's nothing to say that he can't control his ball flight better today.
Yeah, he just got kind of blown off the golf course on the back nine. He was 2 over on the front, which was kind of ho-hum. It did play hard, but then he just bogey 10, bogey 11, bogey 13, bogey 12, bogey 15, bogey 18. It was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just those shots that just drip away. They're the worst ones as well. Nothing chaotically bad going on. It's just that slow bleed.
So Rory McIlroy has arrived. He is off at 3.10. He shot 7 over par yesterday, and he must feel as though he has got a mountain to climb. Tommy Fleetwood just going through his moves here. Let's have a look. Done a bit of work with Graham Walker. Just had a very abrupt finish to the swing.
Yeah, with that swing, you'd expect Tommy to be, one of the best wind players in the world. He compresses that ball, holds that finish, can lower the flight, can work it both ways. Primarily, he's a drawer of the golf ball, but he can hold it up as well. He's one of the best iron strikers in the game, and I think I'll leave you with that, Simon, as well. You can speak equivocally about it.
I'm going to see you in a few minutes. We are going to go walking around the golf course when we come off air. Follow these groups. So if you're out there, come and say hi to Peter Finch. So welcome to Josh Antman. Josh, great to see you.
Simon, great to see you. I'm slightly sad, Simon. This is our last stint here in the commentary box.
We'll be back. This is not the last time. It's only the last time.
I've had a great time with you, Simon.
It's always fun, isn't it?
What a way to finish live at the range with these groups.
I tell you, it's amazing, isn't it?
I've just come from the range, and I would say the wind has picked up at least 10 miles an hour in the last hour. Maybe it's now 30. It is so strong. I was there in the Sky Open zone, and I could not believe how much it's picked up. Look at the flags there at the top. So this wave have had the worst of it. They really have. And Rory with the 78 yesterday. I mean, has he got a chance to make the weekend? He's obviously always got a chance, Rory. But in these conditions, with his ball flight...
Yeah, it's a 38. I mean, to be fair, we did the verdict in weather much worse than this, so I don't know why anyone's complaining.
Biblical, it was.
Anyway.
Look at that, there we go.
It is pumping
Compared
across.
to 11, 12 o'clock, it's just picked up so much.
And it's the gusts, isn't it? Because the margins are so fine.
The gusts that I noticed as well were the thing that were just come out of the blue. Can you imagine if you're on the postage stamp?
No, it comes in waves. You've got a short iron in your hand. Now you're trying to figure out how can I roll a 6-iron along the ground.
I know Rory's 78 was a surprise. I would say Tommy's 76 was just as a surprise yesterday. I really thought Tommy was going to do something yesterday.
Yeah, I think we're not the only ones, Josh. It's going to be a really interesting fight back. So Fleetwood, look at this finish position, how it just sort of abruptly comes to a stop there. Boom. I love that. The short arm swing matching up the finish of the turn.
The only good thing for Tommy about this wind is his lovely long locks are on show more.
I hadn't thought of that.
That really is a positive. Look at it coming out the back of his hat.
Much better for him than when it rains, I suppose.
Precisely.
Okay. Well,
I would say 99.9% of people at Royal Troon are going to be with this group.
Oh yeah. So there it is. Here we go. So Bob Mack in the middle with the yellow, gold for him. Podium on the right side. Tommy Fleetwood with the white tracers. This is their range session. As they are doing it, you are seeing it. We are bringing you all the data. We've lit up the driving range. It is now sort of a technological hub for all of the ball data with our partners, Top Tracer, who've added so many visuals. These are amazing things, aren't they? And sort of, if you look at the old films and you never see where the ball goes until it stops on the ground. Now I think the ball tracer, the technology, has really helped the viewers' enjoyment of the game.
And what's also good now is that in these conditions, on the range, they have to play lots of different shots that they're going to play out there. And with our technology, we can see those really low shots that they're playing, but also the high ones that they're trying to hold up into the wind, which I think is really fascinating to watch.
Yep. They say you have to never fight nature, never fight the wind, use the wind, but if you've got a big strong wind as it is today, you'll have to take some, you'll have to work your ball into it to just decrease the amount of curve. Tommy promises the fans he will be back. Guys, I'll be back, but I got to go to work right now because I have a huge task ahead of me. I am far away from the thing that I really, really badly want. So for Fleetwood, at 5 over.
Cuts 4 over at the moment. It's going to 5. It has at least.
Yeah, I would.
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
At the moment, was it 81 players at 4 over or better? That'll go. I think that'll go to at least 5.
Rahm
won't mind these conditions. He won at Postage and
he'll want it tough,
Irish.
but you know what? He's an important part of the world of golf, and we want him to just get himself up into that leaderboard. He was amazing last year at Hoylake. Really put the pressure on Brian Harman, but David beat Goliath.
I wonder what he's listening to.
The 3 tenors, I'm going to guess.
I wasn't expecting that.
Either that,
or maybe a little audio book,
or a little Puccini, something calming. So
it's funny what Peter just said there a moment ago about Rahm. I've interviewed John a few times on the course. He is very intimidating, you know. He is the size of 2 oak trees.
Oh,
he's just a very intimidating person. So it's hard to imagine as a golfer, if you're playing with him, that he's going to be, you know, the man, you know, in this 3-ball.
Yeah, he's not soft and cuddly, is he? No. He's a bear. Yep. The Toro. What a player.
He's incredible to watch live.
Yeah, he is. It's an explosion.
It really is. Yeah.
If you watch his legs and his feet, so just watch how sort of easy, and that left arm not much past his shoulders. You can see the explosion of power. 157.
What's that, Simon? A 6?
Speed. No, that is. I think this is a 5 iron. Let's have a look. It's into the wind. Might be a bit longer.
Oh no, that's not a 6 iron.
Didn't like that.
Not with that shaft.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a KBS shaft.
Yeah.
There, so that's
it's a 4 iron possibly.
Let's have a look. 153 ball speed. Look at that, just those legs, the power in the legs.
Got that little baby fade going that he usually does.
Yeah,
John.
that's his shot.
That's his shot, but he can easily play a draw.
Oh,
he's got everything
a great
in the
shot
locker.
maker.
Yeah.
That's what I love. If you watch him and you see him out on the golf course, and it's like, you know, a good player would hit a little draw off there, and that's exactly the shot that he hits. Or this is front right bunker just over the trap. You just got to drop it in with a little fade. That's the shot he hits. So, really a shot maker. Reacts.
What do you think? So John's at 2 over. What do you think he's targeting at the end of today?
Back to level.
Level par, yeah.
Back to level. I think if he's going to feel like, and he knows it's going to be a fight because he's out in the worst of the weather. Amazing scenes. 230 carry. It's ripped, isn't it? Just these low punching draws. 5 degrees of launch. Just practicing the bullets.
Perfect for today. Perfect.
Dave Phillips is his coach, standing behind him. So, wrong.
Now, I feel like we're picking up where we left off yesterday, Simon.
Deja vu.
This was fascinating for me, the last 45 minutes of Live at the Range yesterday with Bryson. Do you want to explain to everyone what happened? Because we then went to the range afterwards, didn't we?
Yeah, so it was very interesting. There was sort of like a little commotion there, and Bryson seemed to be trying to persuade his team that he couldn't get the right reaction. So the conclusion of this was really that, you know, when they were sort of testing everything and getting the materials right and the ball right for the club face, it was obviously in 90 degrees, the US, you know, super warm and humid. And it's 60, it's not even 60 degrees here. And so Bryson was saying, hey, listen, you know what, the combination of my driver and this golf ball isn't performing. I wasn't getting the feels that I thought. And I have a question about what I should be doing. So he was using a Titleist left dash, which is kind of like a really hard, low spinning, high launching ball. And that's what he loves. He really found a combination that he loved, but he couldn't get it to react yesterday. And so sort of the conclusion was that at these temperatures, the 2017 Pro V1, which is the black ball, was a better combination ball to him. And so, you know, the Titleist guys were like, well, this is such interesting feedback. And Bryson was like, these are such interesting conditions, because one of the things I haven't factored in is I am so much slower with my speed than normal. I'm only on 182. I'm normally 192. So I'm swinging slower. Everything's working slower. The ball doesn't react the same. So that was really the conclusion of the chat. So just fascinating to see the length to which he will go to discover the answer. That was for me the conclusion. It was like, I don't understand this, explain this to me. And the guys from Titleist came out and said, okay, listen, Bryson, so here is the variable, here's the coefficient is the weather conditions, the 30 degrees of different temperatures.
It was, he had about 10, 11 people behind him yesterday, including coach Dana Darquist. It was unbelievable, I thought, yesterday, listening to Bryson, him trying to work it out. Look at those results, though, Simon, in the majors this year. He obviously won the US Open before, but he has turned himself into a big-time player now, Bryson.
I think that's right. I think that, you know, we had Bryson, who came out of COVID looking like, you know, one of the Avengers, and, you know, sort of Thor or something like that, smashing it around the place, telling everybody Augusta was like a par 68 for him. But he conquered and beat to death Wingfoot, right? Just destroyed it with power and amazing putting, and everyone thought, wow. So Bryson, I mean, Rory injured himself trying to get more speed. Yeah. So Bryson, in a way, influenced very, very strongly the field. Then it didn't really work for him, and then I think he's calmed it down. I think he's toned it down. He's trying to manage the speed, not maximize the speed. And the three performances that he has had so far, in particular, the amazing Houdini-like short game that he showed us in Pinehurst was remarkable.
It was remarkable. Now, interesting for me today, for Bryson, is I'm looking at Dana's like top there blowing, and the wind is now 30 mile an hour. How do you think Bryson's going to perform in this wind?
Well, he has to start to really manage. I think that's one of the things we've done. He's been so focused on the data and the maximizing of the ball speeds, right? Now it's a case of, okay, show us. So we know you're a scientist, right? Now show us that with that you are also an artist. You've got an amazing short game. Go fight and show us what you can do where there is no science. A links golf course, it's the open, it's the nature, it's the no straight lines. The science doesn't work. There's 20 different options to get the ball from here to there. Show us you can do that as well.
I've always said this. I am a massive fan of Bryson for a lot of reasons. I love that he thinks outside the box. He's a bit of a maverick. I love mavericks in sports. But you know what? I would be super impressed in these conditions if Bryson on links golf today shot level par or better. That would show me a lot about Bryson and where he is with his game.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree. You know, use your creativity, use your imagination. Don't just show us what happens if you apply brute force to something.
You can't do that here. You just can't do that.
There's nowhere to go. You will have to be able to adapt, create, and be patient.
You look at the people on the leaderboard at the moment. Lowry, Dan Brown, Rosie, Horschel. They're not massive hitters.
No, I don't believe, and Brian Harmon is the poster boy for the fact that you don't overpower a links golf course. You have to be strategic. You have to find a way to manage the conditions and take your moments, and where par is an amazing score. Bryson likes to shoot 62. He thinks that's a good score. 72 is a good score. So 71, of course, here at Troon. So you are in a situation where the rules have changed, and now you have to be able to adapt to the rules. That's part of being a complete player. If you are not really a complete player, you are very rarely the champion golfer of the year.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So Bryson, 1-3 wood is going back down to, this will be a driving iron or a 4-iron there for Bryson. Just checking his YouTube channel, how many million subscribers he's got now.
Bryson, you know what though? He's been charming with us this week.
He's been.
Don't you agree?
Brilliant,
He's been charming.
Bryson. I think he's matured in that way a lot more. I think since he's been doing his YouTube channel and a lot on social media, he's realised the power of that and how important it is to get on well with the media and that side of things.
I think he'll rise to be an educator, and he'll rise to be an entertainer. Speaking of main men, as we pan to the left, we find the people's hero, I should say, especially in Great Britain and Ireland. And if we come back out, the familiar routine and bounce of Rory McIlroy. Just thinking, what happened yesterday?
That was a shock for me yesterday.
What on earth happened yesterday? 7 over par. And, well, just so many drop shots on that back 9, bogeyed 10, bogeyed 11, double bogeyed 11 with a ball on the railway, bogeyed 15, bogeyed 18, came off 5 over par on the back 9 for a 78.
He said yesterday that he wasn't expecting that wind. Now, I would have thought with all the prep that Rory puts in, he can also adapt to things like that. And he just seems like he couldn't adapt yesterday on that back 9, which was very strange to me.
Yeah, you were right. I mean, he did not either. He didn't recognize it, or he didn't react to it, or he didn't rock. He's certainly laughing at how much left spin he's got on, left movement he's got on the ball there. So
I don't think his ball flight's suiting today. What do you think?
No, I mean, 80 feet's kind of his bullet flight. So he's looking at the same thing you are looking at over his left shoulder there. Our massive monitor. This is our top tracer technology. There it is.
The wind's off the right here at the range.
Big time.
And I think he's saying he can't believe how much it's turning over.
Yeah.
Do you see the reaction there?
Yeah. So
this is probably not a good feeling, you would think, on the range for him at the moment, thinking, oh, this is worse than I thought.
Yeah.
A bit like yesterday in the back 9.
But he needs magic, and I mean, where is magic coming from? Can you feel where magic? Look at that.
That's incredible.
That's like a horseshoe. 161 feet of curve.
You can see he's got him and Oberg have got in the background there.
A little fight
so he can have
on.
a look at it as well, Rory, in a minute. 161 feet of curve is something.
So just about the start lines, trying to get your ball flights. Does this help Rory McIlroy in his task with it being really difficult? It probably does. Will he react to it being really difficult? Question mark.
Do you think Rory will play that hold-up shot he's got, that baby fade hold-up shot in this wind? He's going to have to play that a lot today.
Yeah, I mean, the old adage is don't fight the wind, play with it, but I don't think that works. I mean, if it's such a strong wind and your ball's travelling that fast from right to left across, you can see what he's trying to do there. You won't you won't be able to control your ball on the green. You'll have to be able to neutralize some of the curve by playing a fade into the draw wind. So, come on, Rory.
There we go. That was a punchy shot, wasn't it? There you go. That's the one he's trying to hold up.
Let's see the curve there.
There you go.
6 feet of curve.
That's the shot I was talking about. Thank you, Rory.
You can just see him also checking on the data just to make sure that the ball reacted how he thought it felt to him. So we're going to see artistry. If Rory McIlroy makes the cut, and he could work his way back up the field, we're going to see artistry. But more than anything else, we're going to see grit.
Remember,
fight.
So yesterday's round was his worst since Portrush in 2019 in a major championship. And then that second day at Portrush, he shot 65. He didn't make the cut. He missed the cut still, but we know it's in there for Rory. There's no way he's shooting 65 today, of course. But if he makes the cut, I think that'll feel like a win for Rory.
I 100% agree with that. I think if he makes the cut, he's going to feel, okay, you know what? It's the last major of the year. What does Rory McIlroy want? He wants to win majors. The next one's in April. I mean, it's miles away. It feels like it's half a year away. It all goes a bit too fast as we have now compressed the season.
Look at that.
That's his normal shot, which is now a semicircle with the wind.
Let me ask you, Simon, as a coach, when you've got a player on the range, and maybe the conditions all of a sudden go differently, and maybe the player's not hitting it as well on the range, what can you say to the player? Is there much you can say to the player at that point?
Yeah, you can say, okay, listen, this is the way we want to practice. So the feel that you're missing is this feel. So when you're trying to get that feel, you need to do this rehearsal because that's where that feel comes from. So let's do a little bit more of that. Yeah, I know it's going miles to the left, that to the right, but to the left because that's just the wind. Here's the feel. So let's okay, I want you to show me. Start the ball on this move and then let it move towards that. Come on, I know you're a genius, you've got this. So you try to get it into a positive where they're instead of being helpless to do something, they are proactive against the force that's fighting them. So here we go. Here's the driving iron.
Yeah. I think this will be in play a lot today.
Well, it'll be interesting. I just think that's the club that Rory can keep down.
There you go, that one there. He's got more control of that, it seems.
Well, 1 foot of curb. The other one was 157 feet of curb. So you can see him just working the face and the path through the ball.
It was interesting. I saw Jordan Spieth on the range with Cameron McCormack, his coach, this morning. Jordan talks between every shot to him. It boggled my mind. I mean, his brain must be scrambled egg. Because he's just talking, he's asking Cameron something every single shot on the range.
Yeah, the verbal is amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, also when he's trying to pick out a shot on the golf course with Paul, the data, it reminds me a little bit of sometimes you used to hear Phil Mickelson and Bones talking about stuff where it was just the most extraordinary stuff. This is where the damage was done. So 38 was okay. It was a bad shot to make a double on 8. But then heading it into the railway and the mess that came down was unhelpful. So 7 over par. We're thinking right now it's 4 over, 2-5 over the number that Rory's got to get to. You can see flags pumping there, Josh.
It really is. It's picked up. I mean, even the pole is bending now. It's picked up that much. But for me, as a viewer, I'm finding this captivating as to what's going to happen out there. Because
this is it, yeah. We want it as hard as we can get it to see how the players handle it. That's our reality. This is an incredibly hard game for us. And now, the conditions to become champion golfer of the year and to become, you know, to put your name on the history books, you've got to show us something.
Well, and what I like about Royal Troon as well is that this course isn't there to trip you up. There's nothing there that you think, oh, that is absolutely ridiculous. This weather is the thing that's going to trip the players up. That's why I love this so much.
Yeah, but that's what you get around here. You know, you can be blown off the golf course. The draw can really influence you. This is not the great draw. So Rory's had the opposite draw. It definitely became, it looked as though, you know, the late early guys were the advantage was theirs. With the wind conditions, but you know there are good scores out there. Some of the guys are out there, Justin Thomas had a good score. McIlroy pumping. Driving irons into the wind, trying to find the right feel. He is going to need a very, very strong afternoon to make the cut.
It's interesting. So, Shane Lowry is 6 under. If he gets in the house at 6 under, no one's passing Shane today. No one's passing Shane at 6.
No.
Here we go.
So here we go. Look at Rory McIlroy versus Bryson DeChambeau. Just working on some shots, 2 power hitters. Just interesting to see where they are in their routines. Bryson maybe just a hair further through his practice. But this week, Rory McIlroy is in trouble. It is 2:30. It's going to be an amazing afternoon. Let's head down to the driving range and find Di Doherty.
Thanks, Simon. We're just sort of behind Rory on the right-hand side here with Pete Finch. And Pete, welcome back to the afternoon session here at Live at the Range.
Thank you.
Yeah, thoughts on Rory's round yesterday of 7 over?
Well, it was pants, wasn't it?
His agent's just there. Yep.
It was one of those things that... it was one of those things that obviously you have always such high expectations of Rory. You know, he is one of the best players in the world consistently. We know he has this major drought. So every time one comes around, you're like, is this the time? Is this the time? Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And with a round like yesterday, it doesn't look like it's going to happen again. And today's conditions, it's not exactly like he's going to be able to go out and shoot a really low score.
It's incredible, isn't it? The weather is changing here every couple of minutes. That wind has really picked up in the last hour.
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing the comms and you could see literally the divots of the players whisking across the side of the range. It was quite incredible. And you can see as soon as the players hit it out to the range, as soon as it goes, as soon as they have a little bit of a miscue, it's just gone off to the left-hand side. And when they hold it up into the wind, it just takes so much distance off.
Yeah, we've seen unpredictable things on the golf course already. Shane Lowry with that his second shot on the 11th, he ended up with a double bogey, but it went sort of sideways, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, this is a golf course where you don't have to be off by much to rack up a huge number.
Yeah.
If you think about Matt Wallace yesterday, he played an almost perfect round. One bad shot, boom, triple bogey, thanks for coming. That's all you need. The stick rough, there's gorse, there's those pot bunkers, there's so many things that can take shots off you if you're not careful. I mean, there's no way that every single one of these players on this range is not going to go all week without some kind of test, some kind of disaster.
No. Well, the cut at the moment, it looks to be 4 over par. Can he shoot 3 under?
He can, and I've got a feeling it probably will go to 5.
Yeah,
there's no doubt, because some of the players who went out yesterday afternoon and had good scores, yesterday morning had decent scores, they're going to be coming out into this weather as well. So you'd imagine that cut will get to 5, so Rory has to shoot a couple under, I would have thought. But it's not going to be easy. A couple under in this weather is amazing golf.
69, yeah. We've seen a 68, haven't we, from Billy Horschel?
Yeah, Billy Horschel, yeah.
But obviously teed off, he's in the clubhouse, he's got his feet up, he's happy, isn't he, Horschel, at 2 under?
He is getting a massive bucket of popcorn. He's sitting down on the couch and he's watching his name just go up and up and up, because it's only going to go one way now. Yeah, he is very much one of the pace setters.
Well, Shane Lowry is 6 under par. He had that birdie at the 16th hole and then a par at 17, just got the 18th to play. He enjoyed 18 yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he's a classic example. Like, he's had a really good round. He's had one bad hole, which has obviously dropped him back. So, you know, he's going to be delighted.
But he's bounced back, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and like being 6 under par after 2 rounds around here, that's really, really good golf. It's so hard to explain how much this wind is gusting across now.
Oh,
it's
wow.
going to be a
My hat's
brutal
nearly
afternoon.
blowing off. Well, of course, Shane Lowry and Rory, teammates this year, they won, didn't they? And some great celebrations. Do you like Rory's outfit today? He's gone for the Merlot top, a Merlot sort of aubergine colour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit colourblind, so...
He looks very smart, but he's in the zone. He's in the, you know, he really wants to make the cut in every major championship. He'll be focused. He's got his team around him, and as I speak, that wind, I reckon, has gone up 5, 6, 7 miles per hour. We're almost getting blown off the the driving range here, aren't we, Pete?
I love it.
What's your prediction of a low score this afternoon? What do you think could be shot by somebody that tees off at 3:30, 4 o'clock?
I think 2 under today, this afternoon, is an exceptional score.
Okay.
And anything around level will probably move you up the leaderboard. It's not going to move you down.
Thanks, Pete. Let's get back to Simon.
Yeah, fantastic. Really blustery conditions. It's going to be very difficult this afternoon, and there's some big superstar golfers out there. Rahm is marching to the first tee. He is next out. That is in 2 minutes. John Rahm, Fleetwood and MacIntyre at 2:37, followed by Ludwig Åberg, Bryson DeChambeau, Tom Kim. They are at 2:48. Then defending champion Brian Harman, Victor Hovland and Sahith Theegala at 1:03, and at 3:10, Rory McIlroy, Max Homa and Tyrrell Hatton. What a fantastic grouping of talent there. Rory McIlroy is in a situation where he needs... I mean, if he doesn't shoot 2 under par, I think he's got no chance.
No.
And he may have to shoot 3 under par.
Absolutely. I'm calling that jumper burgundy. Would you like to go through all the red wines?
It's definitely, I would say it could be, so I'm going to go like a Cab Shiraz blend. I'm going to go with a blend, something from the new world. Here we go. Now, let's take this driver that he hits here, superimpose it, take it from the range to the course and pop it onto the 11th tee. Where does it go? Oh, it goes to...
Well,
I don't know what is in there. Nobody knows what is in there.
He's in North Berwick there, I think.
No.
That's a long way.
Okay, so I don't know if Rory was aimed down the middle of our fairway. So there he is. Is the driver going to bail him out, or is it going to be a different club that bails him out? Here we go. Let's have another go. Rory. Oh,
this
look
one
at
might
the
work.
curve. Is that enough?
It's going to flirt with that right-hand side. Yeah,
just enough.
That's where Shane was roughly on 11.
So a final one. It just looks good, doesn't it? Look at that. And boom. That's the bullet. That's 5 degrees of launch.
That's what we want to see
from Rory.
Do you think Rory would be brave enough to play that shot a lot when he needs to today?
I don't think it's his instinct, so he has to be, I think, persuaded into it. So it'll be interesting to see the chat between himself and Harry as to how they maneuver themselves around. You can't just bully this golf course with your driver, and so if you try to do that, the course will win. You'll have to be able to manage your power, and there are certain places to put it on and certain places to take it off. That flight there looks to me like the winner.
That works. I'm not sure if you heard that cheer, Simon.
Who?
That was a...
Oh, who do you think? Scott? That was a Scottish cheer.
I think
for Robert McIntyre.
Robert the Great.
Robert the Great.
Can you imagine if... Look, I know he won in Canada with Dad Doogie on the bag.
Yeah.
He then wins last week.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he wins this week?
I can imagine it. He's won over par.
We won't see him for the rest of the year, Bob.
Oh, you're thinking the party?
Yes.
The long party. So, certainly be interesting to see. Yes, he's a good celebrator, Robert McIntyre.
Yeah. Oh, boy, yeah.
Creef, isn't it? No. Where he comes from. Oh, disaster. So, just trying to think. Iona Stephen told me all about it. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, he's exclusively playing this bullet drive at the moment, Rory, which makes you think that it's something he wants to use in play today. And as Simon said, currently 7 over par. The cut's 4. It'll go to 5 with these conditions. Shane Lowry in the house on 7 under par. He just had a 69, Shane. No one is getting to 7 under par today or passing him. Those are 2 fantastic rounds from Shane. So maybe that's something that Rory has seen and gives him a little, you know.
But they are such good friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difficult time for Rory, isn't it? Because he's just going through this kind of like this long kind of torturous pause before he gets the next major, and every time he comes to a major, everyone says, do you think this is going to be the one you'll win? And it just keeps tightening the squeeze on him. So Rory a little bit in trouble. Bob MacIntyre from Oban.
Oban, that's it.
Oban. I think they're good celebrators, as I understand it, in Oban. There we go. Yeah, he's some man, Bob MacIntyre.
He said yesterday, Bob, that he said he thought he played absolutely brilliant. He said tee to green, he said he was really happy. Just a few things on the green. So Bob's in such a great headspace at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think he can be really, really proud of what he's done. I mean, turned it around. So
16 in the world, Bob, now. 16.
Yeah, but I mean, he played like that, especially in Canada and especially last week in the Genesis. I mean, that's a signature event. That's that you're playing against the superstars. I mean, he's nicked that tournament out of the back pocket of Adam Scott, having had it nicked out of his back pocket by this man, Rory McIlroy. The shot on 17 that McIlroy played was exceptional. Oh. Then the one on 18 is the iconic shot, isn't it? So,
oh, here we go. Don't be standing here at about 270. These are all of Rory's shots.
Okay, here it is. Here's the fireworks show. Lots and lots of different shots he played, wasn't it? Look at that. There's
amazing.
All the curve, the different heights, the different flights. There's an artist in there, no doubt whatsoever. How about that? Look at that.
Wow. 5th of November.
It's a lot. It is. It's a lot of work, though, isn't it? So it's a lot of different shots. That's amazing. Look at that. That's cool. So Rory McIlroy, thank you to Michael Bannon. Harry, let us go and get your fighting boots on.
Let's have a day, Harry.
Here we go. Shane Lowry did birdie the last hole. What a performance by him. 69 today. He is a 2-shot advantage over the field at 7 under par.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this
firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outlet.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Bloody well, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
We've made it to the shop. It's been a long week waiting for this segment, but I am happy to be here. It is absolutely humming here at the Open shop, and as you can see, I'm fully prepared in the Sevi outfit, a special limited edition. And look on the back, I'm not sure you can see there, 1979, 84 and 88, his 3 Open victories. A limited edition, these guys, so that can only be bought here and online this week. Absolutely stunning. Pretty punchy, but I like it. That sums me up quite well. We've also got the Postage stamp T-shirts here. They are selling like hotcakes. So if you are at the Open, make sure you come here quick to get one of these. But also remember, you can get them all online. This place is a circus. It's so cool to finally be here. It is huge, absolutely massive. Always got to grab your pin flags. We're selling over 13,000 of these this week, and there's going to be around 200,000 fans across the course coming in. So before everything disappears, you better come and join me. But for now, I'm going to go get some more treats. I'm a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, the merchandise tent is absolutely phenomenal.
It's massive this year.
It's incredible.
It's like a town.
It is. The Open has become like a brand. And if you've got to join us, you go find that QR code, get yourself a yellow umbrella and join the gang. That's what it is.
I'm a big fan
There's a brotherhood, a solidarity of fans of the Open, and all of us have got to have a yellow umbrella, and that is our sign of we're a member of a special club. So, Tyrrell Hatton.
73 yesterday for Tyrrell. I think he'll take that, Tyrrell.
Yeah, going out with Homer and Rory. Certainly he was the best of his group. Max Homer, high hopes on him.
Yeah.
He was 5 over, and Rory, as mentioned, 7 over and in real trouble. We think the cut is 5. It's 4 now. It could be 5. It feels like it's going that way. So it just gives you an indication of the work that needs to be done. Tyrrell, he'd love to get back to level par.
Yeah. Not a bad Open record, Tyrrell. I think he got a couple of top 10s in the Open. He's first 3 or 4, he missed the cut at the Open, but he's progressively improved, and he's got some big titles to his name, the Arnold Palmer, the BMW. He's a big-time player, Tyrrell.
Oh, yeah, big-time player. I mean, I think if you look at his record and his trajectory, his growth, the next thing for him is to be a major champion. One of those, and if you were to ask him which one it would be, I bet you he would say, I would like to be champion golfer of the year. There you can see his record, as you say, Josh. Bull Rush, he was good. That was terrible conditions. My goodness, horrendous. Royal St George's, that was kind of weird, all of that. Everyone was in COVID and a bit of a mess. Skip that as one. St Andrews, stunning performance, and Royal Liverpool, again, in awful conditions, especially on the weekend. So
he won't mind this wind. He will not mind this wind at all, Tyrrell.
I think the better players, the better ball strikers, and he'd put himself as one of the best iron players, which is going to be a key. They want it hard.
Of course they do.
I think that's going to take. They're going to think, you know what? Take out a third, take out another third of the field, and let me shine.
Precisely. That is precisely it.
So Tyrrell with driver. He is going off in about 18 minutes time, so 3:10 you can see. Just
what's interesting with Tyrrell, Simon, look, it's well known he can have the odd anger issue on the course, which is usually done with on the next tee, but in these conditions you've got to stay pretty level-headed, haven't you?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think he lets his tantrums get in the way of his performance. I almost think it's a bit of a... It's almost become like his signature move, but I don't think it doesn't... I don't think it damages his next shot in the sense. It's not a like a damaging to his score temper. It's a way of him exiting it out and then getting himself ready for the next shot. So I would say... He's volcanic, but can return to level very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He's not a sort of like a total... You know, there are some guys to whom once the head comes off, it's rolling around all over the course, and that's the end of that. But he's not that guy. So good luck, Tyrrell Hatton. 2 over par at the moment. Let's see if he could possibly bring it back to level. That would be a heroic performance. In the corner there, Dustin Johnson. He has been and gone, and he was great today. Very, very strong. DJ.
2 under par, 69 today for DJ.
That's a great score. So he puts himself much more into contention. And the difficulty of the golf course, Josh, you know, we've just sort of been looking at some of these kind of the guys out on the course getting ready. Let's have a look at some of the sort of the key holes that need to be navigated if you're going to have a successful day. This is just the opening hole. And it's really, I would say, if you have a look at this, Josh, and take us through it.
Yeah, players, they're all going with long irons off this first tee today. He's playing 366, and a lot of them are playing towards this right-hand side today of this first fairway. You can see that first bunker there. It's 254, that first one on the left. That's not really in play today. You've got to hit a bad shot to be going over there. And as you come up to the green, it's a wonderful green surrounded by these 5 little pot bunkers. Bob's just gone into that one on the far right-hand side. And if you're in a bunker here, Simon, you're in trouble on these holes.
You are, all of them, even the green side. Now, onto the longest hole in open golf. This is Turnberry. The tee shot has been lengthened. The hole is now 623 yards, but not, I think, today. The tee has been moved up. It's the 2 bunkers on the left which have to be negotiated. You've got to sort of move yourself around those. If you get in there, you're not advancing it at all. And it's been playing into the wind.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know what it is actually playing in the actual nearly 700.
700 yards.
Right. The guys, we've seen guys hitting in from about there. That's how far they're advancing it, trying to just play it as almost like a par 3 from 130. To the shortest hole, Josh.
I mean, this is an absolute beauty, this. Here's the 8th, the Postage stamp, 123. They could, if they want, play it as short as 99 yards. That would be something over the weekend. It would be. There's that coffin bunker, which Rory was a victim of yesterday. Took him a couple to get out, and it was a 5 in the end for the Northern Irishman. It's small, but it's mighty. Speaking of mighty.
The 11th is horrendous, and Rory McIlroy unfortunately drove his tee shot onto those railway tracks that run all the way up the right side, and that is out of bounds. The difficulty is it's so blind.
Yeah.
The difficulty is, you know, you can't go right, but that doesn't help you because you can't go left either, because that is a forest of gorse. You have to really visualize your shot. As we move up, the bottom of your screen now is about where the drivers land, and it gives you 200 yards plus for your second shot. 6 paces to the right of the green is out of bounds, that wall that you can see there. Short and left is not a bad spot, and just try to chip and putt. It's a beast. But if you are going to make a mistake, just make sure you keep a double off your card.
Wind's off the right there at the moment on 11. Here's 17, which 242 it is 17. This Simon, as a penultimate hole in an Open Championship, I'm struggling to think of more difficult holes in recent years as a 17th hole.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. I mean, if you've got to finish, 3-4. And you've got the pressures, the idea is if you can just land on that front left part there, that's amazing, because anything that's short and right is gobbled up by those 3 horrific bunkers. This is the 72nd hole, Josh. We will crown our champion on this green.
Absolutely, yeah. We just saw Shane birdie this about 20 minutes ago. A few players have been taking irons off this 18th tee. But there's those 3 bunkers down the left-hand side, that little one down the right too. They're ready to gobble up any drive that's slightly straying. And then, look, more bunkers on this hole. There's 9 altogether on this final hole. The crowds were packed at 7 a.m. this morning here, Simon, on that, especially on that left-hand grandstand. It was packed out.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Fantastic. So there it is. We are live at the range. There are the scenes.
Follow the 152nd Open in unrivaled detail on the Open.com and the Open app. Go behind the scenes with Live at the Range in partnership with HSBC from Monday to Friday of Open Week. Track every shot hit at the championship and get real-time statistics with ShopView powered by NTT data. Get minute-by-minute coverage and expert analysis on the go with the Open Radio. Follow featured groups in partnership with Rolex throughout each day of the championship, and soak up all the action at the stunning 5th hole and the iconic Postage stamp with the Par 3 channel. All streams live on RNA TV and the Open app, with a host of other content across the Open's social channels. Get closer to the Open wherever you are.
Welcome back to Live at the Range on this Friday afternoon cut day at the Open. The wind is really roaring now. Look at those flags. You can see the camera shaking too. It's about 30 miles an hour on the range here at the moment, about 25-20 out on the course. We've been using the fabulous Top Tracer technology all this week. We've been showcasing how it works from that screen there. The players have been looking at their data, and Peter Finch has caught up with how it works.
So we're here on the range at the Open with Oscar from Top Tracer, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about what Top Tracer is and exactly how it's enhancing everyone's perspective of the Open. So I think, first of all, could you just give an overview about what Top Tracer actually is?
For sure, yeah. So Top Tracer started as our founder, Daniel Forsgren. He wanted to revolutionize the way you watch golf on TV. It didn't make sense that he didn't catch the ball in the air. So there came the famous trace, right? The line that's now ubiquitous in every broadcast everywhere. So that's how it all started. Our tech, I think it is probably at its best display at the Open, at a links course, where the weather is really affecting shots, hitting it low, hitting it high, curving it. Like, you can really show that trajectory.
As the players are here on the range and they're striping their shots away into the distance, how does the Top Tracer technology actually see the ball, track the ball?
It's pretty cool, right? There's no tech really out here. If we look behind us here, we have cameras set up here, and these are our state-of-the-art cameras. You can view these as like expert eyes, and they watch the ball flight. 2 cameras watching the same object, following the full ball flight, and that's how we produce the traces on the screen.
So is it magic?
Kind of is, right?
I think this is probably one of the best things about the range as well, because obviously people in the grandstand, they're watching the shots.
Yeah.
But if you want to understand what the ball flight is doing and what those numbers mean, that's where they can see it pretty much instantly.
For sure. From this iPad that Stu has here, he can literally pick any player here, put them up on the screen. This is the technology that we have at our 1,000+ Top Tracer ranges, same thing that we give the players here. But what people watching this are maybe more familiar with when it comes to Top Tracer is our broadcast technology. So we might just pop over if you're keen to have a look in the TV compound, because that's where some real broadcast magic happens.
Absolutely.
Let's go. So this is our humble abode.
Here.
Welcome into the Oscar, Pete.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So my intrusive thoughts are really winning. Why does I press that?
You want to do that?
What would happen?
Please don't.
I just don't understand why. I'm not usually let near things like this. Can you explain why there are 5,000 computers in here?
This is the place that makes the Open look as great as it does out on TV, right?
Right, okay.
These 2 racks here, that's what does all the broadcast work for Top Tracers. So these guys do the heavy lifting from everything that is captured by our cameras out on the course.
Right, okay.
Relayed back here and then fed out to all the broadcasts all over the world. This is where the broadcast magic really happens.
This is incredible. I genuinely didn't know this was like what it was like behind the scenes.
So all of my colleagues right here and the crew from MSC Systems, they're looking at the screens, making sure that they annotate every player.
So have you got traces on every tee?
We do, yeah. So every tee this here is covered. And then we have 2 roving systems that are going around and capturing shots from the fairway.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks
really
for the interest. Yeah.
And yeah, any Top Tracer you see around the course this week, it's coming from here.
Our thanks to Top Tracer and our sponsors. We have really tried to bring the driving range to life for you since Monday, give you all of the insights. The wind is absolutely pumping, Josh. We haven't seen that all week. This is the strongest by far, the gustiest by far, the hardest by far. And we've got some guys out there who need good scores. Rory McIlroy needs a good score. Tommy Fleetwood needs a good score.
I think that this bit on the range is the gustiest part of the whole course and area here. I think out on the course, some bits are about 20, 17 mile an hour, but this here at the moment is something else. It really is.
How do you think Shane Lowry, who's in the clubhouse, is feeling now? Is he sad? Is he sad for his fellow
Do you think
competitors?
he's sipping on a lovely pint of Guinness and just chuckling?
He's a disciplined man, Shane Lowry. I know, and I know that he drinks cider. So,
a very impressive day, I'm going to say, about the multiple major champion Dustin Johnson. 69 from DJ today. Claude Harmon III, there is coach, just dotting the I's, crossing the T's after today.
He has been on the range a lot, Dustin Johnson. Now, the most I've ever seen him, a couple of years ago, didn't really see him come on the range at all, didn't really hit that many balls. This week, really grinding it, working hard.
I watched him yesterday on the range, and he was working on driver a lot.
Yeah.
It looked like he was not happy about something. He was hitting a lot of drivers, and I could see, you know, DJ, he usually stands up there and hits it quite quickly. He was over the ball quite a lot, like he was thinking about a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely he's working on something in his takeaway there. Trying to keep maybe the club face a little bit straighter back. He's been checking it with Claude a lot. They've been filming it. Also, Austin's filming it, looking at it.
Birdie to Postage stamp today, DJ.
Yeah, it's such a nice
That's a great
finish.
scorecard today.
Well, the back nine. I mean, shoot 1 under on the back nine. That's amazing, isn't it? So, Dustin Johnson making a move.
I mean, he's not really been in contention for a while, DJ, in a major, if you think about it.
No. I think, you know, kind of took off when he was. Let's see if we can hear. No, just difficult. So interesting to see how he is going to respond to the situation. You know, would he push on? This is really nothing results. You know, missed the cut, the Masters. Dustin Johnson, I mean, you can't imagine that. You know, never really showed up to Valhalla, which was, of course, you know, you would have thought, again, soft and wet and open, and you would have thought that he would have relished the challenge there. And the US Open didn't look as though he really had. He didn't bring his game there. He didn't bring his brain, didn't bring his game. So
a very Linksy style course, Pinehurst.
Yeah, it was.
You know, in the conditions, really.
Yeah. So Dustin Johnson, athlete.
The gunslinger.
He is. He's got some swag, hasn't he? He's got a. I'll tell you who else has got a good walk. Gary Woodland has got a good walk.
He like leans back.
He almost leans back, like
Mr. Soft.
Pistols first. Like if you two guns there, swag. Minwoo Lee has got swag.
Yeah, he has got swag. Yeah.
He walked past me and said, like, "What's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Wow, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure."
So for the teenagers.
I know. Look at the kick of the legs there as he presses down into the ground. Not looking for that shot there. So, Claude, I was talking to Claude, and DJ's problem typically is a miss hit, little kind of heel hit, and that's what he hates. That.
Okay.
So that's his miss. Just you can see, hold the hands. You can try to get those release. So he's trying to let it not be a block. No, don't want to have the hands go too far down the target line. Hands need to exit around your hips. So interesting to see. This is post-round. This is DJ after a very, very good Friday. He's moved himself right back into where he'd want to be after a superb back nine performance.
Would you have a lot of players, Simon, that you coach that after a fantastic day would still go onto the range to try and find, I don't want to say perfection, but iron out a few creases?
Yeah, you know, the score for most players is kind of like just something that runs all the time. There's always a score. They're always being measured in something. But what they're trying to find is a pattern of control. So they're mostly process driven. Okay, so when I've got this wind and I feel this, I get the ball in the wrong spot, I get the aim in the wrong spot, so my instinct is reacting me in the wrong way. So I want to go and stand there and train myself to do the process in the right way. So you'd be surprised at how little they know how the ball bounces, especially around here. Like you and I, we could go and play. I bounce in the rough, get a good bounce, kick forward, run onto the green. You hit a great shot, get a funny kick, go into a bunker. You make a 6, I make a 3. And you've hit a better shot than me. That's one of the unpredictable natures of this. We saw a report earlier from HSBC, one of our pillar sponsors here, who said of all the individual sports, the hardest sport to predict is golf. And of all the majors to sort of predict, the hardest major to predict is the Open.
And this weather right now is the prime example as
that
to
is why.
Yeah,
that is why. And the bounce of the ball. It's a round ball played on an uneven surface.
That's very true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, DJ, power hitter. Let's have a look at some of the other power hitters. This is from the week so far. So, different conditions, obviously, today. Gary Woodland. Matteo Manassero is longer
than
Rory McIlroy.
It's official.
You better not show Rory McIlroy that. He'll have a steward's inquiry about that.
Also argue Brendan Todd being on that list. Brendan Todd is not long. He must have caught a good one.
He must have absolutely.
Right
I think he's thrown one down there. 191 ball speed from Gary Woodland, and he is, as it stands right now, the longest. Do not, if Rory McIlroy will not accept that. Anyway, Koepka, we would recognise. Ryan Fox smacks it.
Ryan Fox.
Callum Scott, the amateur, smacks it. No Bryson DeChambeau on that list.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, he's had ball
it?
problems, so.
He has. Fascinating to see it, all of the stuff. So DJ, he's grinding.
Yeah.
DJ's got to feel like, okay, you know what? If I could learn this, I'm going to be in a chance.
Do you think he's also doing this because he realistically thinks he could win this, Simon? Is that any other reason?
Yeah, or at least, you know, just sort of catches the motivation to go, you know what, I've had to actually, you know, I've been on vacation and I'm actually just going to show up here and actually remind people that I am amazing at golf. So, just to let you know, Rory McIlroy in 3 minutes heads off for his round 2 with Max Homa and Tyrrell Hatton for company. The whole of that group has work to do, and in very difficult conditions. We are watching Dustin Johnson, who has been and gone, and is now flushing it. Now, I would say he'd like that as a shot.
Interesting, Simon, with, we'll see on his next swing, his head, most people's heads on their golf swing will stay fairly centred. His goes almost back, doesn't it, as well, behind the ball. Why does he do that, Simon?
Well, he's just trying to get launch. I think that, you know, trying to get the spine to lean a little bit away from the ball, trying to get launch. And, I mean, he's got a really unusual wrist action. So, like, his left wrist, instead of going kind of knuckles down into the ground, is almost going knuckles up through the ball. And the right wrist is coming through, almost scooping under, as he reacts from that top of the that left wrist position at the top. So it's an idiosyncratic swing in a sense, but you have to watch. If you go and stand, if you get a chance to watch Dustin Johnson play, go and do it, because he is amazing.
It was like an exocet, his drives.
Yeah, well, he'll be hanging out here for another week, right? He'll be at JCB, I believe.
Yeah.
So fairly soon. So yeah, get a chance, watch Dustin Johnson. If you want to see an athlete hit a golf ball, that's what he hates.
Cut is still, sorry, I was saying, cut is still 4 over, but it'll go to 5, without a doubt.
Yeah. So he's trying to persuade himself, stop holding it. What's wrong with you? Let it release. Come on. Claude has got his work cut out. Claude is double phoning there, phoning each of the back pockets. That's when you can tell you've really arrived, isn't it? Here we go. Fascinating watch. Claude move to the right or the left, please, but that's not helping us.
Oh, look at this.
There you go. Austin. Here we go. So, interesting to see. After the round, after a very good round, Team Johnson is grinding, working the tee shots, just trying to get the right shot. You can see there's a new driver just been introduced. The head is being adjusted. DJ is not satisfied. So we'll leave those guys. Let's get out and see what is going to be happening in the afternoon. There's David Puig on the right there. Okay. So let's head out now and find George.
And here he is, Shane Lowry, seeing his old man Brendan on his birthday. What a birthday present that is. A tremendous round of golf. 69 of the best. Birdies at 1, 4, 8, 16, and obviously that absolute beauty on 18. Smiling ear to ear. What is the weekend gonna show us? Flashbacks of Royal Portrush already. Live at the range is ending today, but the Open is certainly just beginning. We have a huge weekend in store. Shane Lowry currently leads by 2, the 2019 Open champion. Can he do it again? He's the one everyone is chasing as he enters the big media room for his press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your current leader.
Confirmation. In first place, 7 under par. He shot 69 today. That's 2 under. What a fantastic 36 holes he's done. Daniel Brown is out there holding it together amazingly well. Justin Rose fans, and I'm one of those, will be delighted to see that he continues his move. He went to qualify, and it was worth the effort. And that's how the golf gods work. But look at the names accumulating. Scheffler, Neiman, Jason Day. It is heating up. It's going to be an unbelievable competition.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Really well. Go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh my goodness.
Been very difficult day and a half of golf. Most of the field have really battled conditions, especially this afternoon. Late early seems to be the best combination of the draw. We've had a lot of players sort of trying to find a swing that's going to work and manage the gusts and manage the bunkers and manage the rough. Gonna have to be a real artist today, but one man who really did find a way to conquer the conditions, and we just saw him leave the 18th green to head into the media centre for his press conference, was Shane Lowry.
Shane, 2 under par, 69 today. What were your thoughts on today's performance? Yeah, it was good. I felt like I went out there, I was in control of my ball, did all the right things for a lot of the round, and then when I got in a bit of trouble, I felt like I really finished the round well. So, like, I'm pretty happy with the day. To be leading this tournament after 2 days is, I mean, it's why you come here. It's why we're here. So, yeah, I'll sit back and watch a bit of golf in the afternoon and see where it leaves me come the end of the day, and get out there tomorrow and, you know, the job tomorrow, I suppose, is try and put myself in a position to win this tournament on Sunday, and that's what I'll try and do.
Okay, we'll take questions from the floor. Microphone number 1, Phil.
Shane, could you just talk us through number 11, but also more particularly how you responded to it over the last few holes?
Yeah, I did the hard part. I hit my drive where you could find it, which is obviously it's a hard thing to do in that hole, but and I had a nice lie in the rough, and I got a little bit distracted on the right just as I was over the shot, and I kind of lost a bit of train of thought, and you're so afraid of going right there that, you know, I just snagged the club and went left, and yeah, and then from there I hit a great provisional. The referee asked me going down, did I want to find my first one, and I said no. So I assumed that was okay. And then we get down there and somebody had found it, so apparently we have to find it then, or you have to go and identify it, which I thought if you declared it lost before it was found, that you didn't have to go and identify it. But, you know, I felt like through that whole process of that 20 minutes, it was whatever it was, of taking the drop, seeing where I could drop, I felt like I was very calm and composed, and really knew that I was doing the right thing, and I felt like Darren did a great job too. I just kind of, you know, he kept telling me we have loads of time, we don't need to rush this, we just need to, you know, do the right thing here. And to be honest, I was happy enough leaving there with a 6. It was not like, you know, it wasn't a disaster. I was still leading the tournament, and, you know, I think the 12th hole for me was key. 12 was playing very difficult straight into the wind, and I hit driver 4-iron there, 2 of the best shots I've hit all week, to about 30 feet and mid-par there. And, you know, from then on, I felt like, you know, down out of the left coming in, it was playing quite difficult, but I felt like you could give yourself chances on the way in, and, you know, that's what I did.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, Shane, you look just remarkably composed, really, for the last 2 days, never really flustered at all by anything. Maybe that moment on the 11th, perhaps. But can you describe, you know, the feelings you get when you come to a links course? Do you feel, you know, when it's windy and it's blowy like this, that maybe you've got a little bit of an advantage? Do you feel a comfort level in that?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Like, I get to conditions like this, and I know I can do it. I know I can deal with it. And there's an art, or there's a, you know, it's quite difficult to stand up there from 190 yards and make yourself hit a 4-iron as low as you can. You know, it's quite difficult to tell yourself that. So, you know, I feel like the 3 weeks I've had at home, the golf I've played in Ireland, coming here and doing my recce here a few weeks ago, I feel like that's all helped. But yeah, I have felt quite calm and composed over the last couple of days. I felt really in my comfort zone, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone.
Okay, microphone number 2, just in the front.
Shane, obviously leading at the halfway stage, competition you've won before. How does it change when you're leading? Everyone's chasing you, and how much can you lean into that previous experience from years ago going into the weekend?
Yeah, I suppose, look, I'm going to obviously have a very late tee time tomorrow. I'm not going to be playing for another 24 hours. So, you know, I know what that's about. I know tomorrow is going to be a long day, but you know, I've done it before. Going out there leading a tournament, who knows if I'm going to be leading by the end of the day. You know, with these conditions, probably will be, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. It's yeah, you just go out, and for me, it's just all about going out and playing my own game, shooting the best score I can, and then seeing where it leaves me at the end of the day. You know, trying not to worry about what other people are doing, and just trying to take care of your own personal stuff.
Okay, John, on the right.
Are you a good front runner?
I wouldn't say I'm a good runner. I don't know. You know, I've put myself there in a few big tournaments and I've managed to knock them off. So I've done it a few times. Yeah, I don't know. It's you know, it's hard to win tournaments. So, you know, we'll see. I'll tell you Sunday evening.
great to hear the insights. He's a charming character.
He really
that doesn't
is.
always come across. You know, it's hard to really see the personalities of the players because we always see them in their office. But nevertheless, lovely to hear that. He's got a lovely smile as well, doesn't he?
You know what I like about Shane? He's a normal guy. He is just like a bit like Bob, very similar to Bob.
Yeah, he's given some amazing moments. Wentworth was one, but this in Portrush will never be forgotten.
Yeah, some people say the greatest championship in the world. I think when you get your hands on the trophy and you actually start reading the names and how far it goes back and who's won it, and it's literally all the greats. And it was getting to a stage where I just wanted to hold putts because the roar was just kind of, it was almost entertaining for me, you know, to hear the roar. And then when you see the emotion I show after holding that putt, that was it, like that was the tournament over at that stage. I think it's because of where I'm from. That's how we celebrate things. To be able to bring joy to so many people. The history of the trophy, like, what an incredible trophy. And for me to have that on my mantelpiece in the house, I walk in some mornings and it's hard to believe, you know.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It was a momentous occasion and the weather was terrible and he just kept going and going, and no matter, Brooks Koepka was right there, Tommy Fleetwood was right there, but they just couldn't stop him. He was relentless.
The atmosphere on that Sunday afternoon will be something I'll never forget. I finished my production shift back then. I was on the early shift and I went out and I could not see Shane. I went the early bit of the front nine. There were so many people. I couldn't see what was going on.
No.
But the atmosphere was so electric, and they were just willing and pushing Shane on. And you know what? He played fantastic. He putted brilliantly in that final day. Tommy had no answer to that. He had no answer. It was almost meant to be for Shane that week.
Yeah, I think that's right. So this is the bird's eye view of the driving range. And a new addition to that is the pumping right to left wind, which is not the normal wind, but it is strong. 30 miles an hour we are hearing from some parts of the golf course, and gusty. Couldn't be worse for the guys who are starting this afternoon, but it was pretty good for this man. Underneath there with his head down is Brooks Koepka.
Another gunslinger.
He's a good gunslinger too, isn't he? When it gets tough, I just think he goes, you know what, no one's going to hang with me. But he's had a lot of feedback to Pete Cowan, like on posture, on aiming, and I think that's one of the things that's really super difficult, is keeping your fundamentals in these big wins. You know, over 4 days, it's like, you know, ball position moves a little bit, it gets back because you hit so many balls low. It gets back a little bit and you lose the orientation of where's your start line, and so you've just got to keep working it. So Pete Cowan just going through a few fundamentals there.
Having the hat, Brooks copied his outfit today.
Yeah, it's a good business colour black, isn't it? Pete Cowan helps so many people do so many things in the game.
What do you think they're working on here? I'm trying to work it out myself.
That's just a little bit of path. He's just wondering about how, you know, he wants a left path. Now, Brooks is steep, right? I mean, he really is steep. Like, if you go and watch his divots, they're holes. So what he's trying to do is find that fade feel, so to make sure he's got enough time to rotate. Pete Cowan, he's seen it all. Just trying to hold it up. It's difficult on such a big right to left wind too, because you just can't get your shape going. You know, you're not used to that. The US is typically played. You could have bad storms, but then as soon as it's bad weather in the US, it's normally lightning, so you're not playing.
Yeah.
Here, this is just a mild day in the back end of the Scottish summer. So Brooks, that's nearly the kind of little ribbon fade that he's looking for, Josh. Here we are down the line. This is our top tracer technology giving you the view. So all Pete's doing there, all Pete's doing there is say, listen, that's there you go. That's your posture. That's your posture. And then Brooks is going to be able to find his fields because he's going to know he's finding them from the right place. So
he's not hitting full shots here. Just hitting half shots.
No, just getting adjusted. So it never ends. Koepka this year, he'd be bitterly disappointed. I remember he was sort of chatting to say, listen, guys, I never showed up to the Masters. I'm really sorry. He got a little better at the Valhalla. He got a little better. He played pretty well at Pinus, just kind of dropped it away.
Yeah. I thought he did.
And now, in position to do something special. That's more what he's looking for. Is that my start line? Am I in the right place? Have I got the ball in the right spot? Am I seeing this from the right thing? Because it feels a little funky and I can't quite match it all up. No safer pair of hands than Pete Cowan. Here we go.
Try and let you decipher what Pete's saying here, Simon.
I think Pete's saying, listen, don't worry about that. It all starts here. You've got to get your posture right. Focus, spend a half an hour getting your posture right, then go home. So, hands on the club.
That right hand's a long way under, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a strong, strong grip. It's going to be a left exit, you can see. Trying to work it through there, trying to fade it, doesn't want to let it draw. It's very difficult because it's such a right, like Rory McIlroy, if you were watching earlier, he could just not hold the ball up from doing a horseshoe right to left. Such a strong wind, 30 miles an hour, the ball's going sideways. So, Brooks, a
consistency coming home though. Look at that.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's good round here.
I think that, you know, what I like is when level par is a really good score. I mean, which it never is on PGA Tour. Look at Valhalla. That's a major championship. And you just looked at that and you just thought, you know what? This is not the test that we want to see. We hardly now ever get to see all the best players come together. That's not good for the fans. And if the sport is out there to make the fans enjoy the sport, that's a major problem that's got to be fixed. So we don't see all of the best players compete against each other very often. Problem number one. And then for these guys, you know, they've got to be able to overcome, you know, more of... We have very much a one-dimensional field. We have the soft conditions, the lush, it's amazing. Every blade of grass is exactly perfect. But our strapline are forged by nature. You know, come and test yourself against this. The players have all shown up for that.
They have indeed, absolutely. Be interesting to know how much longer Brooks will be at the range as well.
So you can see
but he's working on a number of things, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling something. He's feeling like maybe just like disconnected a little bit, like he's just trying to, you know, when the wind gets there and he puts his hands ahead, he's just losing his path. So you know, you push your hands ahead, and then your hula hoop, your plane line goes to the right. That's the opposite of what Brooks wants. He wants his plane line to go to the left through there. So he's trying to find and left through there. Find the time to exit. Don't lean on it. If I lean on it, I can't clear. So he's really trying to find like a low left exit. Make sure he can hold that ball up. Here's our minion cam, just to show you how busy the driving range is. It is coming up to 3:30 on Friday. That is day 2. The hospitality centre, amazing. The wind moving around, Josh. That's a different orientation.
It's changed again. It's changed again. And I remember Pete Finch saying earlier in the week that it can change up to 4 times during a day here at Royal Troon. For these afternoon starters, that is just horrible.
No, 360 wind changes.
Now,
what about this as a sport?
But these guys will be wanting all the wind.
Yeah, it makes...
Oh, Simon. We should have done commentary from here. That would have been good. Hey?
I don't know.
Some kind of tandem thing going on.
I mean, it must be, if you fall, it must be cold. I wouldn't have thought that's warm water.
I think the wetsuits help.
Dear, oh dear. We saw 2 ladies walking there in their bikinis yesterday. I mean, you just would have thought. That is very, very
brave.
Yeah.
That is brave.
So, Koepka, working hard. Dustin Johnson was working hard.
Yeah, both of them on the same score, 1 over par, but both obviously, despite a fantastic 36 holes, both not quite happy with something.
Or at least it just goes to show that when you go out and play 18 holes in the wind, you need to come in and do repair because of what the wind does to your fundamentals.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true there. He hasn't got much club in his hand. It's like an 8-iron, 9-iron, something like that for Brooks. But
I think he's just come out to clip a few and just sort of like get his basics back again. He's just obviously something's come off. Pete Cowan's in there. There he is.
Never too emotional, is he, Pete?
No, but Pete is what you need. He's like no nonsense. He might only say 2 sentences, but they're exactly the 2 sentences that you need to hear.
Ricky, his caddy there in the grey hoodie.
Yeah, Ricky is kind of like Pete's the doctor,
caddy.
and if anything, Ricky's the nurse, just to make sure it's all going. I can't find the field, boss. Listen to me, you lunatic. Just do this and just do that.
It does amaze me that after 69, one of the best rounds of the day, that he's still not happy. It's a start line alignment thing, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
With Brooks.
Yeah. So he's obviously just seeing something that just doesn't make sense to him.
I think, it seems to me, he thinks he's been starting it too straight and it's been fading right.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't been able to, as you say, start it left enough.
I feel like I'm standing there. You're not standing there. Look.
Yeah.
Look. You're not standing there. I am. Listen.
Maybe he needs to go to the opticians. Maybe that's what it is.
Here we go.
His perception of where he thinks the start line is not.
He's just been blown off course somehow, and he just needs to be persuaded by his 2 supporters that it's fine. Don't worry, Brooks. We're going to fix this. Just do this, this, and this. And you're going to be absolutely fine. But it is going to be brutal, isn't it? It's going to be such a difficult day to go and play and make a score for Rahm, for Fleetwood, for McIlroy, who are out there.
No, the cut's gone to 5.
For MacIntyre, who is out there, it's going to be tough. Okay, there we go. First sign, projected cut has moved. Weather conditions are overpowering. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. Confirmation. All smiles for Shane Lowry. He is in the house. 69 today. Absolutely fantastic. Top of the leaderboard. Dan Brown. What a performance today. Amazing yesterday. Justin Rose hanging in there right there. And you can see real quality in the pursuers. Great from Shane Lowry. And he was very happy with his 2 days' work. We are live at the range. This is the 152nd Open Championship from Royal Troon. the figurehead piece of the RNA's competitions, but they host competitions all over the world. The Junior Open took place very close to here. That was at Kilmarnock Barassi this week. A 15-year-old world number 7, Hyo-song Lee, won the girls' competition, whilst fellow Korean Se-hyung An was victorious in the boys' championships, and they were invited to watch the Open.
Well, it's the afternoon of day 2 of the Open Championship, and the wind is playing havoc. Our hats are blowing off, and it's not an easy test for the golfers out there. Here with Pete on the range, and Pete, was such an impressive score from Shane Lowry. He's in the clubhouse at 7 under par after 36 holes of the Open Championship. My goodness, what a bounce back as well after that 11th hole.
He's going to be absolutely delighted. I did catch a little bit of his post-round interview, and he was just talking about how proud he was of the recovery from that, because that's the thing, like every single one of these players knows they're all good players, they're all going to have little sparks of really nice play, but it's how you bounce back from those moments, because everybody's going to have a moment this week where they're in a tight spot, they have a double or a triple bogey. It's then how you carry on.
Absolutely. He said he was slightly disturbed by a cameraman on the 11th hole, and he got in his own way, he said, to be fair, but then got out of his own way. As you say, adaptability, versatility, you need that in the unpredictable links environment. Dan Brown, he's keeping up with appearances, isn't he?
He is. I mean, it was always the fear, I suppose, that, you know, being in that unknown position at the top of a leaderboard in the Open Championship. Is he going to have a little bit of a panic? Is he going to drop backwards? But to be still up there by the end of the day, obviously a few holes to go, that's fantastic, and it does show, because he was hitting it really well yesterday.
Yeah.
So it has carried on. It looks like it isn't just like a flash in the pan of one round.
No, it's amazing, isn't it? Probably coming into the Open Championship with no fear, having qualified at West Lancs. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And why should you? Why should you be scared? You know, it might be your only chance at a major championship. You've got to go ahead and seize it. It's obviously easier said than done.
With the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed by Englishman Justin Rose. He's had 2 birdies on the front 9, 4 under par.
Again, you know, someone who had to qualify in. Obviously, Justin is an incredible player. Yeah, it'd be a surprise to many that he wasn't automatically exempt from being here. But it's his kind of course. You know, the tougher the venue, the better he seems to play.
Yes, yeah.
And you know, that's what this is. This is one of the toughest tests in golf.
Yeah, it certainly is. Speaking to him yesterday, remarkably calm, cool and collected. We say that about every player that goes out and shoots a good round, but seems really focused and in the zone, so we're hoping that Rosie has a good back 9. Okay, let's have a little wander down here, and we've actually got Shane Lowry walking our way. So if we come over to this side, Pete, if Kev, we don't want to walk in Shane's way, we'll let him go past, and then we'll walk. You might be able to see him, Kev, in the left-hand side of me. There he is. There he is with Connor Ridge, his agent. Off we go, all smiles.
Seems in good spirits now. When he goes past the claret jug,
oh yeah. Is he going to touch it? Is he going to grab it? Number 2. He had a good look, didn't he? Possibly saw his name engraved from 2019. Had that 3, 4, 5, 6 day party.
How cool is that, by the way? The fact you can walk past the claret jug and be like, you know what, my name's already on there.
I know. Always wanted to get my name on my local club leaderboard or one of the boards.
Just anything.
At Stockport Golf Club.
Really? Yeah.
We've got lots of children here, of course, and they've been waiting patiently for flag signing and for balls. Hey guys, you having a good day? Yeah. Who's? Do you know Pete? Yeah, some of them do. That was my producer asking that, Pete.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You've got a huge fan base over there. Guys, who are you here to watch? Anyone here to watch?
Scheffler.
Oh, Scotty Scheffler, who's out on the course. What? Anyone that you like?
Woods.
Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods?
So good.
Oh, yeah, he didn't make the cut this time. What about you? Anyone here for any players? Yeah?
Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy, he's going for it today, Pete, isn't he, out on the course?
He is, yeah.
The drive round.
First few holes, he's just been getting the drive round.
He's been getting the driver out. What autographs have you got on your head?
I don't know. My dad knows.
Yeah, somebody's scribbled. And don't ask me, because autographs are the hardest thing to read in the history of the world. I've got lots of flags with scribbles on, but...
I've got someone's glove.
Someone's glove, have you?
Yes.
It's a special glove. That's amazing. You can treasure that. We're not too sure whose glove it is. Do you know whose glove you got?
I'm not sure, but they're a really nice guy.
It's lovely to hear.
And I think a lot of the golfers here have been very nice, in my opinion. I got your signature earlier, I know that.
This is Peter Finch. He's huge in Europe.
I ruined his flag. I'm so sorry.
That's great. So, are you a golfer at all? Yeah. You play golf?
Yeah, I play golf. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you play?
I play like North Yorkshire in a place called Middlesbrough Golf Club.
Hello to everybody at Middlesbrough Golf Club. What's your handicap and what's your name?
16. I'm Maddie.
Maddie, that's fantastic. Really great to see the girls here as well. Are you having a good day? Great stuff. Excellent. Have you got lots of signatures?
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, I've got Bryson DeChambeau by there.
Yeah.
And I've got Brendan Todd by there. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm not sure what the other ones are.
That's okay. I'm sure you can Google them and find out what they are. But was Bryson nice when he came over?
Yeah, he was really nice. But he was a bit late for his tee time, so he had to come quick.
Yeah. But he's done it every day, you know. He's been great during the practice rounds as well. Have you got any signatures, guys? Yeah, you've got. Who's on your cap?
Brendan Todd. We've got some other Novenkov and a couple of others.
Excellent, amazing. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Awesome. All right, Pete, we'll stay here. We'll have a little wander. Let's get over to George.
Okay, guys, we've got out of the wind and we've made it into a very lucky spot. We're in the players' locker room. Not many people get access into here. So the thing is, they all get this amazing setup. Everyone's got their perfect space for all their golf gear. There's Matty Jordan.
Get out the way.
You're right, we shouldn't be in here, but look at this. One of the best corners of all, the Champions Corner. You have to do something very special to be in here. So let's go check out who's in here. And look who it is. Padre Harrington taking his shoes off.
Yes, indeed, George.
Padre, do you mind if I join you in this lovely little corner of the Open, mate? It's a pretty special corner of the locker room, isn't it? How cool is it to be a champion golfer?
Yeah, it is nice. It's it's only champions in here, so when you come in here, you kind of and they kind of leave it open so you can look out too, and they can look in and know that you've done it. Some nice names always beside you in the locker in here. They even put the British amateur champion up as well, so that's something special for him. But I'm here, I'm beside, got Shane in the corner, Justin, Zach, Brian Harmon last year, Todd, Ernie, so lots of names up there. So yeah, this is the place you want to be.
And it's, I guess, not only been here, but knowing you've been a part of history as well, and how special is it coming back every year and knowing that you've got your locker and you've got a lovely routine at the Open?
The R&A do a really good job now. They use the one structure every year. They bring the same structure, so we know where we're at. We know what our facility's like every year. Yeah, so you can have a little look in. You can see what goes into a locker. There's always spare wedges the week of an Open. We generally change our wedges. What else? Shoes in there, bit of rainwear, bits and bobs, I suppose. Yeah, it fills up pretty quickly, but yeah, it certainly hasn't been wet. Tomorrow's to be wet, so there's actually quite a lot in the bag. It's full. That's got all the stuff because we packed it in case of the bad weather. But yeah, this is the place to be. All those people out there, they're the plebs.
The riffraff, the riffraff.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 2 claret jugs here and there's another one here. Cammy Smith, how are you?
I'm packing up.
Packing up?
Yeah.
Short week at the office.
Short week.
Still a nice corner to be in though, isn't it, Cam?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good list of names in here. Yeah, it doesn't get old being in here for sure.
They can never take it away from us.
No.
That's the main thing. Your name is on that trophy forever.
Yeah.
You know, you go and do it. It's with you for life. You're only still fresh into it, but I'm still you know, people still come up and ask for autographs, and hopefully when I'm 80 years of age, they'll still come and ask me for an autograph on a pin flag from one of the Opens. So it's just, yeah, it's nice to be reminded and enjoy it. Certainly on the golf course, I got a lot of support out there. There's people cheering because I won it in the past. So when you get to my age, you actually start to enjoy that.
And there seems to be a bit of Irish luck floating around. We've got 3 Irish champions in here, and there's one out there that's just done the business again. How nice is it to see Shane Lowry at the top again as well?
Yeah, we've had a great run. Darren Clark's over there as well, as he's pointed out. Rory in the corner, Shane over here. Yeah, four Open champions, and with Shane at the top of the leaderboard, he's a great front runner. So you're pretty much guaranteed from this position he's going to have a chance with 9 holes to go.
Very nice. All right, Padraig, you've got a big weekend ahead, so well done on making it. A lot of mess in there, so just don't let that get a little, you know, don't get too carried away, all right? You've got to keep on top of that.
That's not my responsibility. That's my caddy's responsibilities. I really, whatever goes in there, I know what's going to be in the bag is in the bag. Nothing to do with me. I don't stress that.
That sounds like child. It sounds like your mum's on the bag. You haven't grown up yet.
No, it's up. He can organise whatever he likes, as long as when I look for something in the bag, it's there.
And fresh socks, fresh shoes. That's it. You know, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, but as I said, it's pretty much stress-free, even if it is a bit of a mess.
Very good. All right, we'll let you shower up. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks for always helping us out with the interviews, mate. You're very kind.
No problem.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. It's a bit smelly, to be honest. Come on, let's go.
Right.
Patrick Harrington, a legendary bloke or what?
He's one
amazing.
of the best. He has got so much time for everyone, Paul Drake. He'll never turn down an interview. I mean, usually an answer is about 9.5 minutes long, but I love listening to him. I love it.
Yeah.
His tips are great on Twitter, on Instagram. He's fascinating.
Yeah, he is a proper golfer. He's a proper pro, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you're going to say to one of your kids, this is the guy, copy this guy. You won't go wrong if you steer him towards Padraig Harrington. Padraig, well done. You are absolutely an amazing champion golfer.
From one multiple major champion to another.
The combo, the buddies, Scotty Scheffler with Sam Burns. He's just going, I had this 4-footer and it cut like an inch from the hole. It was on the left and it missed on the right. And then like, I'm the most unlucky golfer in the world. So, Scheffler, he has been grinding since Sunday, but he has put together some round today. He shot 1 under par, and he finished with a birdie on 14 and 16. Just dropped one up the last. So, nevertheless, great work from Scheffler.
I've got to say, I am very impressed from Scheffler. After 6 weeks away and no practice on links golf, I think he went and played maybe North Berwick last week. He didn't play the Scottish, or early this week he played somewhere, I can't remember where. Turnberry, excuse me, it was. And he has come out and shot 70, the world #1, and he is 5 back of Shane. He's in 4th at the moment, depending on how the weather behaves. He could be in 3rd. He has got a very real chance of winning this Claret Jug.
Oh, that's why he's here. There's no doubt. That is why he's here. So he's been working hard. Sam Burns, he's had most of his practice rounds with him, but he has hit a lot of golf balls on our driving range. Ted Scott has been filming. Interesting to see Ted Scott filming from sort of behind him. So very much working on sort of the pressure shift and how he's moving. He does typically move early into that left side. Maybe the wind just kind of threw him off a little bit, but there's his score. Nothing too much happening, but just that little nudge forward. It's just the lack of mistakes, isn't it? For me, that's almost like a signature of his game.
His mental, for me, he's a world-class ball striker. His short game, there isn't anyone for me with a better short game, but his mental capacity to blank out everything and just stay like a mill pond, this serene golfer who goes around, does the business, lets nothing else affect him. For me, that's why he's the world #1.
Yeah,
he's a bit like when Tiger was in a pom. Tiger was like that.
Yeah, well, he's got a very good block, Scotty Scheffler, and he's only here for one thing. He seems like a good guy. He doesn't let us get that close to him.
No.
He just keeps us an arm's length away, I would say. You guys stay over there. Makes his own space, controls his own space. Sign of someone in control of their life, isn't it? Because you control your own space. Don't allow other people to put ripples on your pond. Scotty Scheffler.
He gets that belt buckle to face the target so well.
Yes, so early, right? So
something I'm trying to do, Simon.
Very well. Here we go. So hands on the club. He'll look at the face.
Every time, it fascinates me, this.
Just to make sure he's got control. He's a very good calibrator. I think he feels the face very, very well. Just playing the shots. Let's have a look and see what he's got here. It's just a lot of very good iron shots. I don't think I've seen someone spend a lot of time to watch him play at Augusta this year, watch the warm-ups Saturday and Sunday. I was super impressed. I go super impressed by his ability to calibrate his shots. I have to say, an amazing iron player. Just hit so many really, really good scoring shots with his irons.
He's pin high nearly every time. I mean, Links golf's slightly different because of the humps and the bumps and the weather as well. But when I've seen him, he is pin high all the time, and he gives himself chances. He's going to miss a lot of putts because he gives himself a lot of putts.
Yeah, I think that's right. You know, I think Phil Kenyon has given him like a system. I think there was a question mark a couple of years ago about what am I doing here? I'm not amazing at putting. Then I suddenly find it. Then I suddenly lose it. It's so much inconsistency. So I think Phil has been able to give him a structure. This is the problem that you've got. Here are the things you need to do to fix it. Here are your drills. This is what I want you to practice on. And I mean, it's made a massive difference.
It really has.
That's great coaching.
That is great coaching indeed, yeah. He just needed to hold a few putts, 1 or 2 putts, and it makes a big difference. Gives Scotty confidence as well. And you give Scotty Scheffler some confidence, wow, no one else has got a chance.
So just clipping a few, just getting the system out, working through his basics. Amazing at this as well. Wonder what it's like for those guys coming across and hitting off links grass.
Exactly. That's why I'm always amazed, especially here at Royal Troon, the record Americans have here at Royal Troon. They never play links golf, apart from maybe the Heritage, but they're not proper links like Pebble. They might have the winds, but they haven't got this turf at all. The thud, you know what it's like. That pleasing thud it makes, especially when you compress an iron properly. There is nothing like that in the world. Nothing like it.
It must be. It just feels to us as though it must be a massive adjustment. And yet, if you look at the trophy, bar Henrik Stenson, it's full of the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes. So, there we go.
There he is, right on cue.
There he is, Phil Kenyon, who has masterminded the resurgence of the Scotty Scheffler putting stroke. The drills, the training, the visualizations. That looks to me like a happy team.
A very happy team.
Randy Smith, I think, is in the US. Maybe decided
I was going to say, I've not seen him this week. No.
Fascinating. Phil Kenyon, putting wizard.
Scotty's got to be feeling so happy, but in the house at 2 under par. I know Shane's 5 ahead. We've still got 36 holes to play. Absolutely anything can happen, especially with the weather we've got coming tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think Scotty's thinking, you know what, he's not stressing his position. I think he's thinking, you know what, first 2 amazing days, I'm still right in this. They're big guys, aren't they? So, the fireworks show that we're showing you, Scotty Scheffler's 2 sessions, before round and after round. You can see the volume of work. Just amazing to see. It's an all-day long thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. These are from this morning and this afternoon. The one over on the far right-hand side, that's where he's just been hitting from. That one on the left. And you can see just a few after his round here. He's not hit many at all. Just a cool down, maybe, Simon. I don't think he was working on anything there, from what I'm looking at.
No, we saw him earlier. You and I were watching when we were out on the range day. Was working a lot of something to do with his posture and his motion. And you know what? Scotty Scheffler, after a day, what does he do?
Good lad.
Doesn't disappoint, does he?
No.
He does not disappoint.
And
hello, guys. How are you? Chatting to everybody.
You know what, as well?
Some
players do not realise how important this is to those kids. This they will remember for the rest of their life. They will.
Yeah, forever.
We had
and
one
you
of the
know
best golfers possibly ever come and sign my flag, my
Yeah,
cap.
but you know what? He's had a busy day. So, fantastic. Well, Josh, thank you so much for the week.
Simon,
we
thank
hope
you.
you have all enjoyed the Live on the Range, and we'll see you next year. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Snuggle up. Let's join Di Doherty.
Thank you very much, Simon. Delighted to be joined. He's been out on the course. He's been doing his stretches because he's a little bit stiff. George and Pete. And guys, we've got the Claret Jug, which is fantastic. George, what's your highlight been this week?
Oh, it's been a big week, running around like a headless chook, but it's been an amazing experience to be able to be inside the ropes, get up close and personal with the best in the business. I've just come from the champions locker room with Padraig Harrington. Although it be a little bit stinky in there, a few smelly socks, it was just such a cool experience to see where the champions all sit. And yeah, to get so close and behind the scenes has been amazing. So I loved having an interview with Bryson in the bunker this week. That was quite fun. But I don't know, you also get to see people who are in so many unique roles throughout the Open. So yeah, we've covered it all, and yeah, it's been a really fun week.
We've had cameras everywhere, top tracer technology, you've been out and about, and I've had a variety of guests on the range, just bringing you inside the ropes and telling you what a major championship is all about, the Open Championship, with the unpredictability of the links here. Pete, you've been fantastic over the last few days. I'm going to give you 10 out of 10. What's been your highlight?
I mean,
do I get 10 out of 10?
Yeah, you do.
No, thank
you're just
Great.
That's a given.
Yeah, absolutely.
A-star, yeah.
I mean, the sticky toffee pudding today and the catering was exceptional.
Sticky toffee.
I think apart from that, I mean...
Shane Lowry, possibly?
Shane Lowry, I did get to sneak and stand very close to Tiger when he was hitting shots.
Yeah,
and like for a boyhood Tiger fan, that was pretty special.
Yeah, I think so many people have come here and just taken photos of Tiger, photos of Rory, who's out on the course, got the driver out, he's really going for it. Obviously, he wants to make the cut. He's just, as soon as he pulled it out on the first tee, you were like, he's going to play aggressive golf. Yeah, good stuff. Shane, my goodness,
well,
so
I
much applause.
I was literally just about to say, when Shane was going through his media swing after his round today, there was so many flashbacks of Portrush, and I'll tell you what, Portrush was a really good time. So if we can have a weekend half as good as that, it's going to be electric, because Shane's got so many followers, and there's already 4 Irish champions in that locker room, and imagine another Claret Jug for such a small region. They know how to do it up there. The Guinness tastes good.
Well, I tell you what, the Americans like to do well around this golf course. The likes of Todd Hamilton, Mark Helkevecchia, Justin Leonard, oh my goodness, Arnold Palmer, the list goes on, Tom Watson as well. And we've got Billy Horschel at -2. Who is going to pick up? Is it going to be American?
I mean, Scotty Scheffler is lurking there.
He's lurking.
With his
He's down the
usual
range
intent.
as well.
Yeah, he is not going anywhere.
No,
he is coming.
He's doing that thing where he's just like, he's not making any mistakes, he's just plodding along, he's picking up the birdies. And you can imagine on Sunday, if him and Shane are in the last group, that will not be the biggest surprise in the world.
Oh, that'd be amazing. You're just looking at some of the names there.
Well, I was just actually looking. You mentioned Todd. It goes Todd, Tiger, but also very funny, Billy Horschel. You know, when you walk around, I don't know if you're at any sort of job, but Billy Horschel this week has been that guy that I've accidentally bumped into like a million times, and you're kind of like, what are you doing here? Like, and then you turn on the TV and Billy's there, and it's like, this never happens. So I'm kind of happy to see Billy up there. It's kind of a little bit of poetry. I want to go see him. I can't believe I haven't interviewed him.
Maybe it's meant to be.
But it's just like everywhere I turn, he's there. So we've been having a good laugh with the camera crew about that. So good luck. Good
he's
on.
in
Good on
with
him.
a chance, as is Scotty Scheffler, in a great position at -2. Shane Lowry leads the Open Championship right now at -7. You've been fab. You've been brilliant. Thank you for your company. We look forward to being back next year for Live at the Range from all of us. It's goodbye. It's a sad goodbye, actually. For now, let's go this way, chaps. We'll see you next year. Goodbye.